said I got to say something, baby, hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic. Somebody hand me a mic, cause I got to say something, so just hand me a mic. When I need to say something, better hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic.
You know, I did some, I say research, YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like the effects of nicotine through my little, you know, quitting smoking journey, as it were. Did a few YouTubes and that. And the substance nicotine, from what I've read or heard or
From a
listened
plant,
to,
isn't it?
I don't know, but it's apparently it's not bad for you.
No, it's not.
Addictive,
It's
yes.
just shit in the cigarettes, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the part of it that's bad for you. So again, this could be bullshit. Like, I mean, YouTube's not always right, but
Yeah.
what I came to learn is that you could, in effect, pump yourself full. Well, not pump yourself full, but you could take nicotine regularly all of your life, and it shouldn't, other than making you addicted to it, won't do you any damage. And again, I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for, is it true about the focus thing? And it is true. It's very good for focus and mental, like cognitive,
What,
like.
even if you don't smoke and never smoked?
What's the question? I've missed the question.
It makes you focus, nicotine.
Yeah. So the substance nicotine is good for cognitive, like it makes your brain work fast, it makes you focus. Yeah. South Park, we bring that up, the effects of nicotine, positive effects. No, it is. It is very good for stimulating you. It's a stimulant, I guess, is what it is.
This is how you're trying to tell yourself, I've stopped smoking now, so I'm allowed other nicotine products.
No, this was an honest thing. I was struggling, P. I was struggling with focus. I was feeling a bit lost and I couldn't write emails properly.
I normally just have a wank in his back.
What's this? Those who switch to vaping very quickly. So, have you typed in the effects of nicotine?
Yeah, no, this one. So, nicotine has cognitive enhancing effects, including improvement of fine motor functions, attention, working memory, and episodic memory.
Yeah, and you
Really?
can imagine somebody like me, P, right, who was, let's be honest, eating cigarettes, right? And all of a sudden
40
removing...
a day, wasn't it?
Yeah. All of a sudden removing them, you imagine what my brain did?
Yeah.
Man, I couldn't focus on anything.
I was smoking 15 a day and then I quit, and it was hard to do, like.
I can remember that week after quitting, being at work, right? And not just the first day, when I was in complete despair. Later in the week, I'm sitting at the computer and I'm trying to write an email to a customer. This is stuff I've done every day, right? I'm trying to write an email and I'm not focusing on what it's saying. I'm getting so far down, like on the next paragraph, and like forgetting who the email's to. Like my brain, the focus is just it completely went. And since the reintroduction of nicotine into my world, that's come back.
Yeah. Well, when you've left something after your body's been having it for that long, and then all of a sudden you'll just crave it so much. It's like crack or heroin, I suppose, isn't it? Or alcohol. You know, your body just craves it, used to it. So as soon as you get it back, you'll definitely get your focus back. But for someone who doesn't smoke, yeah, it must be, you know, if that's true and what it's saying, you might get a little bit of enhancement or a bit more focus.
It does. I find I get stuff done.
I imagine it'll like stop anxiety a little bit, I imagine.
I think so. But I think because it is a stimulant sort of thing, much like caffeine, I think if you have too much of it, it might go the other way.
The other way, yeah.
Yeah. I think, to be fair, I think I could probably report a little bit of that. So
You have 40 tabs after you quit smoking.
No, not that. I mean, just with these upper lippers, you know.
Right.
Being an addict by nature, you can imagine I'm starting to stick it in my mouth all day.
Yeah.
So I've got one in for 8 hours a day. And by the end of the day, I'm a little bit, like a little bit.
Do you know how many of them, like one of them to nicotine, how much nicotine you get from that compared to cigarettes?
I don't know what grams of nicotine are in a cigarette. I do know there's 6 grams of nicotine in one of these. So I don't know. I've got no comparison, though.
I'd maybe start looking at that and see.
Have a look, Southpaw. What's the...
You know, in case you've gone from like having, I don't know, 30 grams of nicotine a day to now having 130 grams of nicotine a day.
I know, yeah. That's a thing.
The typical,
and then it'll be even harder to stop.
Well, the typical cigarette contains 11.9 milligrams
All right.
There you go.
of nicotine.
So yeah, times that by 40, that's a lot.
That's a lot. I imagine it wears off, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it will do, won't it?
Like, once it goes in, it's not, like, in all day. So if you have a cigarette first thing on the morning and you take on board that 13 grams of nicotine, like, that's not still in your system later on, is it? Or is it?
I don't know. It's above my station, that.
Yeah,
We need Dr. Phil on here. That's what we need.
we do.
Yeah.
No, but it's a good. It does help cognitively. Helps
Yeah.
you focus. That is what it is.
So what have you been up to recently?
So what have I been up to? I've been near a lot.
Have you?
Yeah, we did 6 days. We had some good shows, and we had Cal Coates, an artist and an author. He brought the
Yeah,
book.
I've just had a look at the back pages of his book. It looks really good.
Have you heard some of the stuff he's done?
I've just read the back page, and yeah, it's mind blowing.
Yeah,
I'm going to get his book after this, I think, and read it.
you know, I was saying we were saying when he was on the show, you get them people. I mean, a bit like Michael, like our friend Tomo. So you know people where you say, oh, that guy should write a book. Well, Cal Coates did.
And you.
Yeah,
I think you should write a book one day.
maybe one day. Yeah, imagine. Do you know what I was
This
thinking?
is Your Life, Daniel Brown.
You know, the thing with that, right, is I think as time goes on, your memory of things wavers a little bit. And I often thought, like, if I ended up, if when I was old I went to write a story of your life, would you forget a lot of stuff?
I think when you start putting pen to paper, things will come back and you'll piece it all together. And
You think?
I think a lot of it will come back.
You think?
You start with the structure and then work you out, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be good. I'll tell you a good book I read recently. I don't know if you've ever... No, we have. We've discussed it.
David Goggins.
Yeah, David Goggins.
What a beast he is.
He's a beast, isn't he?
got a
David
screw
Goggins.
loose.
That book, I'm a big audiobook guy.
Yeah.
That book was different to a normal audiobook. It's sort of a...
He narrates it. There's two narrators, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a podcast style book.
So I always read a traditional book, hard copy, but for this, I downloaded it when I bought a treadmill. And it was at the start of lockdown. I bought a treadmill and I put this on as an audiobook. Honestly, I was smashing out 5K every morning without fail.
I bet.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pump you up book, that.
Yeah, it was great to train to.
Yeah, if you've got that sort of mind that can be, sort of affected like that.
Yeah.
Mine could be. Yeah. It's good in the gym, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great in the gym.
Yeah, but really clever book. I've never heard a book that was in that style, where it would go, like you say, there was two guys. It was David and the narrator.
Yeah.
And the narrator would read, I guess, a chapter of a book, just, like a normal audiobook. Then they'd stop, and it'd turn into a 15-minute chat, like a podcast-style chat, where they're in a studio like this, talking about that stuff.
Yeah, it was really cleverly done, isn't it?
Yeah, really interesting. I don't know if he's the first to do that, but it was the first time I've ever heard it.
Same here.
But yeah, no, I liked it. Really, really pumped me up. Like
Another book quite similar to that and a little bit different called, is it Through the Fire or Into the Fire? SQ is his surname. It was a lot of years ago I read this book.
what is it? A similar style?
No, not in the... I haven't listened to the audiobook, I just read it.
Oh.
Is it David Goggins again? Or?
No, it's something called SQ. ESKEW. Is it Through the Fire or Into the Fire? No, ESKEW.
I've never heard of this.
ESKEW.
SQ.
There. What the Fire Ignited, that's it. That guy, wow.
Is he like a
So
Goggins?
when he was a child, he got something ridiculous like 95% burns, like all his body.
Yeah, you can see that.
And now he does like, he's ultra marathon runner, and he can only sweat out like 5% of his skin.
Wow.
And you read that and you're just like, fuck, if he can do that, and I'm crying over doing 4K, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to listen to that book. Like, what a guy! And the poor bastard. Like every single few years as a kid, he had to get new skin grafts because your skin grows and stretches. So he has to have new grafts of skin every so many years, and he goes through each surgery and stuff like that. Even to this day, is like and he's I think multimillionaire as well. He's got like a ridiculously good business. As well as been this ultra marathon runner who's done something stupid like more ultra marathons than most people. He's just incredible guy.
You know when you hear people like this, the Goggins thing and people like this,
Yeah.
it's really good at like suppressing your inner bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we all all of us have a little bitch inside of us, like a little pussy. Everybody's got a little
That's quite
pussy.
a big bitch, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah. But you know that little voice?
Lippy bitch.
Yeah, lippy bitch. You know? Yeah, this is going out, right, P?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You don't talk about your missus, will you? No, listen, but that inner bitch voice, that, I don't know, week or something, when I had that Goggins in, like, it proper addressed it, like, you know, things you don't want to do. Like, oh, you know, no. That you hear that voice, you know, and then like there's an overpowering Goggins voice just saying, bitch, you know, like,
do it, get up.
Yeah, do it.
When your alarm goes off at 6 a.m. or 5:30 because you said you're going to go to the gym or go swimming before work.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, snooze that a little bit. And then Goggins comes in your head, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that to me, I think that's too extreme. I mean, from what I read in that book, or listened to in that book, he's like messed himself up through what he's done. Like, didn't he have like messed up like his knees?
Imagine his joints. His joints must be fucked.
Yeah, they were. There was something with his knees where he had no. Is it cartilage in between your bones? I think it is. Yeah, he's got some messed up knees. So he ran for years, and he had like his knees hurt him. And when he went to the doctors to get it checked out, they literally said, "You've got no cartilage in between your legs. It was just bone on bone." I think he just kept running. To be fair. Yeah, this is anyone that's struggling with their inner bitch. David Goggins is your man. You know, we all know people that are struggling with their inner bitch, where the inner bitch seems to be winning.
Yeah,
and playing this book.
How does he motivate you though? Because I don't think a book could get me motivated in the way that like you guys are speaking. What is he just having a go at you, or is he like speaking? These are a better tactic to do these things. Like,
no. He's explaining his experiences, and he wasn't always the David Goggins that we know. He was a shithouse, basically. He was a fat pudding, basically is what he was. I don't know what happened in his head that changed it, but he changed it.
Well, he wanted to go in the Navy, didn't he, or the Army?
The SEAL.
The SEALs.
Yeah.
And it turned up, and they basically laughed at him and said, "Not a chance are you going to make this." He was like 300 pounds overweight or something.
Yeah, he had to lose like 5 or 6 stones or something.
And he lost like
in 3 months.
So ridiculous amounts of weight.
Do you know what it is? It's a comparison, because the way it hypes you, he has a good way of doing it, because he tells you the extremes that he pushes his body to, like the extreme things he does, things that you think, oh my God, but he has a way of like saying that he's only human, and he's saying that you can do it. You know, like it is physically possible. It just is horrible, and it's half of it's mental as well. The way he says it, that you've got to really go inside.
More than half it's mental, isn't it?
Yeah, it's physical, but as he said, he was never a supreme athlete. He was never like, when he was through school, he was never like top of the pops physically or anything like that. He was never going to be a marathon runner, but your mind. And it's true, your mind is so powerful, and it just seems that David Goggins has a little bit more grasp on his brain than your average person does. Well, probably like nearly everybody does, because what this guy does, just with the whole mental, like, come on, I'm going to do this, is it's. Do you know what I would say? Listen to it. You listen to that book, and you will come out hyped. You will come out hype. It's just a fact.
Yeah, we'll do that too.
I'll definitely go back to that book. You could do that twice. The second one, I actually have listened to the second one as well.
What, he's got a second book?
Yeah,
Oh,
Never
right.
Finished, it's called. Similar style, same narrator, same podcast style book. In honesty, I feel like he's just milking the first.
Of course, yes.
Do you know what I mean? I think he got very popular. I think that first one was such a success. He's just thought, I'll do that again. He's done it again, and it's, I guess stuff later down, later in life and what's going on now. And he's still doing, he's a 1 in a million type stuff. But he's obviously he's in his 40s now, so.
Yeah, you'll find though, watch 20 years time, he'll be crippled. He'll be in a wheelchair. He won't be able to do shit.
Probably.
Because his body will be that haggard from everything.
Probably.
Like Ronnie Coleman. Have you seen Ronnie Coleman? Remember him? So
yeah.
he was like Arnold Schwarzenegger, absolutely cool. I think he's got the record for the biggest squat, heaviest squat,
Does he?
or deadlift.
I know his legs are shot to bits,
and
though.
now,
Right?
he can barely walk.
No, his legs have gone. He uses.
He's up there on crutches. He keeps having spine surgery. I watched the documentary. His like hips and spine are just fucked.
Jesus, look at the size of him there.
Yeah, I mean, how does that happen?
Just
You look at that and you think muscles can't grow that big.
That must be roid, surely.
Of
God, yeah.
course. Of course, more roids that you could, you
so he
could.
was a policeman as well, wasn't he? He was a copper.
Was he?
Yeah. So he was a police. Imagine him rocking up at your front
Yeah,
door.
you wouldn't give him any jib, would you?
No.
But I think
Look at that vein in his bicep. That vein is as big as my wrist. Like
That one there.
Yeah.
Jesus. Looks like
Look at that. It's a
looks
horse
like-
pipe.
Looks like a snake, doesn't it?
Look at that vein. My days.
You wouldn't want to be that jacked, though, would you?
Oh God,
Well, I think
no.
if you put your body through so much extremity, is it that something's going to have to give, isn't it?
You know, when you look at somebody like that in that shape, like he's got no cardio. Like,
No.
you see him like that, and they look like Hulk Hogan. Man. Now, look, hear what I'm saying here. You wouldn't want to smack in the mouth off him, but in a tear up with someone that could avoid.
Well, see, don't we? With like Anthony Joshua and people like that who are really jacked. They just don't have the stamina, do they?
No, you think how much blood it takes and oxygen to get
Pump to their muscles.
Yeah, I mean, his wife must be sick. Zero cardio. Zero cardio.
No, but to get that trim, surely you're burning lots of fat via cardio, or are you doing that elsewhere? Or is it just right?
There's no cardio in that. I would say there's next to none. No, that's to get like that. From what I understand, they do
Just
no cardio.
dehydrate himself as well, won't he, before he gets on stage?
It's obviously you're eating a lot to build your muscle. And you're taking every single growth hormone and testosterone, everything under the sun. You're lifting extremely heavy weights, and you're just building it and building it and building it.
I've learned from all these people like David Goggins, Ronnie Coleman. I'm just going to go with the Tyson Fury diet, like him.
The champ. Yeah.
What is the Tyson Fury diet?
Well, I'm just joking, but
just-
he doesn't look like he tries that hard, does he, to maintain his stature?
No, I mean, he's not body beautiful, is he? And he never has been.
I mean, before a fight, he'll cut, won't he, for the first 12 weeks. He'll be in camp, won't he? But
Yeah.
other than that, I imagine his normal outside of camp, he just walks around eating what he wants. And
He's so fit, though, isn't he?
yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy, like how he looks compared to how fit he is. He'd run rings around Anthony Joshua.
I think he does, a good 5-10K or whatever every single, be 10-20K every day, won't it?
Yeah.
that's
He loves
just
running.
the thing, though, that like you look at his body, right? He's like what, 6'8", right?
Yeah, he's
6'8" or something. He's got, the lungs of a 6'8" man. He's got the heart of a
Suppose your lung
6'8" man.
capacity is massive,
Yeah, a
isn't
lot
it?
of oxygen, and to be fair, he's not carrying a lot of muscle. So his, cardio organs, if that's what you call them, his cardiovascular system.
Yeah.
They haven't got a lot of muscles to move. He's not muscled up. Do you know what I mean? He's not hench. He's just a big man. And I think that makes for good cardio, to be honest. I mean, he's never going to be super fast because he's too big,
Yeah.
but
You find with a lot of athletes, they have like extra big lung capacities as well.
Mm.
So him being so tall probably will do.
yeah.
That's some transformation, that, though, isn't it?
I mean,
That's,
that's probably the best he's looked ever. He doesn't look like that now. Have you seen his weigh in, like, for the Francis Ngannou fight?
Yeah, he's came in heavy, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, if you watch him, he lost the weight, and then probably the best he was Deontay Wilder 1. And if you watch every fight since then, so he's had Deontay Wilder 2, he's had a Dylan White, he's had a
Deontay Wilder 3.
Deontay Wilder 3, he's had Derek Chisora, and now he's got Ngannou. If you look through each one of those, he's slowly getting fatter again. Like, he hasn't trimmed down. He's like, every time he comes back in for a fight, he looks a little bit fatter and a little bit fatter. He's losing. Like, I mean, look, he's losing that battle. Like,
I suppose speed doesn't really have to. It'll still be really fast compared to Francis Ngannou, but
I mean, this is a mismatch. Like,
yeah, it's a joke, isn't it?
yeah, Francis Ngannou won't touch him. It's just different discipline.
I think if it comes to Usyk, I think he will have to lose weight for that, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I mean, that fight's supposed to be signed, but I'm not buying that. Like,
I'm not either.
no.
Because they haven't gave a date either. They said, or a place.
No, I think, to be fair, I hate to be glass half empty, but in my opinion, I think it's just to get eyes on this. That's what I think.
Potentially, yeah. Good shout, that.
Yeah. I just don't, I mean, see that picture there? Second, on the left, second from the bottom. Go across, no. Left, that. You look at that there. Yeah, he's still a bit overweight, but then you look at that to the Francis Ngannou weigh-in. Go up and across one. He doesn't look too bad there, to be fair.
Yeah. It's just that love handle in the other side.
That love handle is literally... He's changed shape.
Mm.
He's put some weight on. Big
But I
time.
suppose you need to, don't you? Because don't you have a better chin when you put weight on?
Well, that's what they say. I wouldn't, I don't think it's so much you have a better chin when you put weight on per se. I think it's just if you lose too much, you lose your chin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If your weight drained. But that's all to do with like, is it like liquid in your brain and stuff like that? And because you're dehydrating your brain, you've easier to knock out.
Right, yeah. If you come trying to weigh a lot less than what you normally carry, is that what you're saying?
Pretty
so these
much.
fighters who, fight at a ridiculously low weight to what they normally carry at.
That boil themselves down.
Yeah. Dehydrate themselves to like...
Yeah, some of these people who get in the boxing ring, when you see them in real life and you see what weight they fight at, it's like, how?
Not the same person, is it?
No, like they walk around at like, I don't know, 12 and a half, 13 stone, 13 and a half stone, and they fight at 9. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's mental. Like, I mean, have you ever seen Conor McGregor's weigh-ins when he was at the lower weight? He looked dead.
Ill.
He looked ill. Like, seriously ill. Johnny's going to hate us with all these Googles, like. Yeah, weigh-in, drained.
He looks ridiculous now, doesn't he? The size of him now.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see him fighting again, like.
Yeah, he looks ill there, doesn't he?
Look at that. Doesn't even look like him. Look at that.
Fuck.
Look at his face. Look at his lips. I mean, he looks healthy. That's a higher weight, that.
Yeah, no, but that's just comparison. Look at that compared to that.
That doesn't... Dangerous, that, like.
That's Weight Watchers for 2 days.
Yeah, that's dangerous, that.
Doesn't even look like him there, does it?
No.
Who would you say in your lifetime, like, you like the best heavyweight is that you've watched, or like, because for growing up for me, like, I've never been massively into boxing, but if I'm watching someone, it is Fury for me. Like, I'm in that era where Fury is just flawless. Like, heavyweight wise, that's where I'm sitting.
To see what he'd done against Deontay Wilder, get knocked spark out by the heaviest puncher, I think that's ever, let's not beat around the bush. I think Deontay Wilder's probably got the hardest punch that's ever existed.
Yeah.
But then I look at like Mike Tyson, but I suppose I was a bit too young for that era.
Yeah. Mike Tyson was in the 80s, wasn't he?
He was exciting to watch, wasn't he?
Yeah, to be honest,
Just an animal.
I've only started paying attention to stuff like this in the past, 6, 7, 8 years. So really since then, yeah, I mean, Tyson Fury's been the one, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But if you were picking an all-time great, then...
Be Mike.
Yeah, it'd be Mike.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali, though, did you see his style, how he changed boxing, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a good character,
I've
wasn't
just
he?
seen videos of his footwork and the way he moved. Like,
Insane,
it's just
isn't it?
crazy.
So he was the first one to come in as a heavyweight who wasn't just like a barrel, and to just start dancing around people and pepper them.
Yeah, he was such an entertainer. Like,
But he was just, that was what made him, wasn't he?
yeah, I do like Mike.
World, and the reason is that he just
Whoa.
What is that?
I was just going to pull up one of these.
So you were watching last night as a top part.
No, mate, nothing like that.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali.
It's happened to us all, that.
Fall asleep with the laptop on.
Yeah. Look at that, man.
Yeah. Crazy.
Just imagine that confidence.
Heavyweights look so small then, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, we're definitely in an era of big heavyweights now.
But then you get Sonny Liston, so he was a big old unit as well, wasn't he?
I think he was shorter than Muhammad Ali. I think he was
Yeah,
short.
he was a bit like Mike Tyson, when he just...
Yeah. He was meant to be a real badass in real life.
Yeah, he was a...
Yeah, he don't look tall, does he?
No.
Hell of a nose. Yeah. I don't know too much about these. I'm not a historian by any stretch of the imagination, but from what I've heard, people say Sonny Liston was a naughty guy, like.
Yeah, he went to prison and stuff, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. But he wasn't that good, was he?
I wouldn't fight him.
No, I wouldn't either. No.
Even now, even in his 70s, or 80s, whatever he is. If he's still alive, I'm still not fighting him.
No. No, he'd be dead now. When did, yeah, he'd definitely be dead. I would have thought so.
Died there in 1970.
70? Bloody hell, he didn't live long, did he?
1932 to 1970.
Bloody hell.
No, he competed from 1953 to 1970.
Ah, he competed.
Oh, no, but he died. No, he died.
Died there.
Oh, he
Never.
died in 1970, yeah.
Bloody hell. That was young.
Yeah.
Still wouldn't fight him.
Huh. What did he die of?
Oh,
Oh, he had a heart attack.
all right. So he died of natural causes related to the heart and breathing problems.
Never.
Yeah.
Poor soul. Never. Huh. Well, there you go. No, yeah, look, in my opinion, the best ever was Mike Tyson, but, you know, his window was small, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a few years.
He was just, once again, we're talking about, you know, mentally, Gus just kind of programmed his brain to be the most savage fighter ever.
Yeah.
He went in that ring more hyped than anybody else. He knew he won the fight before he even stepped in the ring.
Yeah, it was a good, like, I say good, it was horrendous, but that makes for a good product. The whole bad, abusive childhood, like drug addict parents and pass from pillar to post, naughty boys' schools, prisons, and then like adopted by that man who was a brain guy who probably got in his head. Yeah, it was a horrible for him, but the end product was, and he was also genetically like a bit of a genetic freak.
Yeah,
like if you see pictures of him
one,
at 12, he looked like a man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He was short, but like he was developed when he was 12.
Yeah.
He was a bloke, and he was fighting like skinny kids. Like he didn't look the same as
I
everybody
think he
else.
was fighting men, wasn't he, when he was like 13, 14?
Yeah, he peaked early, didn't he?
Yeah.
He peaked early. He was pretty much done by his mid-20s. Like that was pretty much the end of his heyday, really. Even that, like 21, 22, 23, that was about it. Like prison, when he went to prison, that's pretty much was the end of it, of the good bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's saying here when he was 12, he was knocking out fully grown men.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
It's just terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that picture there, that black and white one with the vest on, there, young, that down left a bit. Well, that'll do. But he's a youngster there.
Yeah.
He's not a man, but he looks like a man. Scary, isn't he? You wouldn't want him.
He's telling you to put the bins out. You're putting the bins
You're
out. aren't
putting
you?
the bins out, like, yeah. You wouldn't want him annoyed with you.
Have you seen that moment where he goes to get on a jet with Dana White, and then Dana White's just like, he walks on the plane and he goes, "That's my chair, move." And then Dana White's just, oh, he's like instantly, but he, like Tyson's being dead serious. And
Really?
then Dana, like he sits down and Mike just starts chuckling to himself. But
I mean,
like
you'd
he's
move,
just
wouldn't you?
proving the point, just proving he's the
Yeah.
alpha still, and he was like 55. Like
Yeah.
you just wouldn't say no to him. He's so explosive even now. Like Dana White just bumhole,
Not
just
saying shit
absolutely
to Mike,
nipped.
are you?
Yeah.
You just wouldn't fuck with that, would you?
No.
Just,
You know, the thing, I'll
You
give
go
me...
to go to prison, you padded up with him. It's just cellmate. Oh fuck.
Can you imagine?
or it's like yes, like if you got him next to your side, you know what I mean? Like if you're pally with him in prison, you're laughing.
Why do I feel
I
like...
think I'd rather sleep next to somebody who looked like Conor McGregor, you know, the skinny version.
Yeah.
You know, so if you tried anything, I could maybe outsmart it. Not that dude, no.
Oh, I was, to be fair, completely went over my head that, yeah. That makes sense.
You feel like he got no trouble in jail.
Yeah.
I don't know that to be true, but I imagine.
Yeah, no, it's fucking with Mike either.
To be fair, actually, I'm going to retract that because I actually have heard him talk about that before, to say that people tried to challenge him, you know, because they knew
they
he was
will
the
do,
champ,
yeah.
and they thought, like, you know, in here, you're not the champ. Never. Pretty hell, he's put the beef on there, hasn't he?
Pardon me.
Yeah, man, Mike
Tyson claims he slept with the prison counsellor.
I've heard that story
He had
as well.
Really?
he had to do some really nasty stuff to her. Jesus.
Never. Yeah, I heard this. He's talked about it, that he had like classes and stuff, you know, like to like reform him, sort of thing. And there was a woman that worked in the jail, and he ended up sleeping with her. Like,
He was so famous though, like it doesn't surprise me.
no, scary shit. Yeah, he's lived a life. Have you ever listened to his like little podcasty thing he does?
No, I've seen clips of it.
He's a real deep thinker. You know, there's more to Mike than just a fighter.
Yeah. Now he's made a lot of money. He lost all his money, didn't he? And he's made it from weed farms.
Weed farms, yeah. He'll be making some money off his podcast as well, hotboxing.
Yeah. I'll watch the Tyson Fury one.
Yeah, he's really is a deep thinker. He's very, I don't know what the correct word is. He really goes deep inside of his mind, and he's got some really interesting like philosophies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He seems well read. Like he has a vast understanding of like, from what I can gather, like a vast understanding of like, you know, like military history and like, you know, like emperors and stuff
Really?
like this. Yeah, like really deep.
Fighting and stuff like that and tactics. I think he's really good at that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Once again, that'll go back to Gus. Gus will just.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems really well versed. He really knows his stuff, and he's. I like listening to Mike. You know, you get them reels sometimes on Instagram.
Yeah.
You scroll through. Some of them are Mike, like giving his. Have you seen anything he says to Francis Ngannou about the devil?
No.
Oh man, it's so deep. It's something about like that God's with you, but the devil wants you as well. And it, when you hear it, you're like, "Oh, fucking hell!" And you can tell, like,
Oh shit.
yeah, I mean, there it is, the Francis Ngannou one.
That one?
Yeah, man.
See all your fights and stuff? All your knockouts is spectacular. Know what that means? All this good stuff happening to you, know what that means? That you're favored by God. When you're favored by God, you're also favored by the devil. He's coming for you too. So you just gotta be strong and stay on the right side. Whose side you gonna go on? He's gonna give you power too. He's gonna get in your head too, but it's whose side you gonna stay with. You stay with who brought you here. You go home with the guy that brought you to the dance. You feel your fight.
Decent. He's full of them, Mike.
Yeah.
He's full of them. Yeah. Gets me hyped, Mike.
But then I've seen on the opposite side of things, I've watched a couple like straight through the podcast, and he does get absolutely blitzed on these podcasts, doesn't he?
Yeah,
and then like
I think it was a bit weird, doesn't he?
Yeah, some of them like he's just not there. Like you can just see he's just like zoned out, and he's got his mate who like covers for him. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I've seen that as
it's
well.
hit and miss for him, I think.
Hit and miss for Mike, innit? Yeah.
What I find funny is, you know, I'm probably one not wanting to talk, but you get these legends like Mike Tyson and David Beckham. Terrible at speaking though, aren't they?
Oh,
the
yeah.
voices.
Yeah.
They're horrendous.
You wouldn't tell him though, would you? You wouldn't say, Mike, your voice is stupid, mate.
Little David Beckham though.
Yeah.
Been watching that new Beckham thing on Netflix. It's quite good.
You take David Beckham down, wouldn't you?
Well,
Yeah. He's not doing now, is he?
no. I think I'd turn gay for Beckham though. Wouldn't anybody?
Yeah, I'm going to segue you because I want to hear about. You just went somewhere. You just went on holiday.
Well, not just. It was a while ago.
Yeah. It was before or after we last spoke.
Before.
Was
I
it?
think. Yeah. It was June.
Do we not speak about it?
No. It was June because there was a little bit of a funny story that happened in the airport. I was going to tell you on the way here to last time I was coming, and I
Right.
didn't. And so yeah, I remember it in my mind, and we didn't speak about it.
Tell me that funny story.
It's quite a while ago, and also I probably forgot half of it. But so it's going to go quite dirty. This right.
Okay,
So
I'm interested now.
right, we've been in Spain. We've got in the taxi. We've got to the airport.
In Spain.
Yeah, coming home,
Right, okay.
and Laura wanted to look at some like bohemian kind of shop. She's not that type of person, and I was trying to say you're not that type of person. Why are you looking in the shop? But she
Right.
wanted to go in there anyway
Okay, yeah.
because everything's made of organic stuff that she doesn't care about. Just because she wanted to spend my money, I think. And it looks nice, you know, trinkets and things.
Yeah, yeah.
Girls like fluffy things, don't they?
Bit of tat.
Yeah. And I really need a poo. Right.
Right.
So I was like, can you hurry up in this shop? And she was taking the time, enjoying everything. I had loads of money left over as well from holidays, so I think that was burning a hole in the pocket.
Right.
So in the meantime, I was like, right, you look after Theo. I need to go to the toilet. So I ran to the toilet, got there, massive queue just for the traps. And I
Which
was like,
toilet was it? Where in the
like,
hotel?
in the airport, I'm on about.
Oh, no, I don't.
Yeah, and you don't like doing it outside your own.
Not in the wild.
Yeah, you don't like going in the wild deer for a pony. when you got a Luca Toni just brewing. So I run across the airport, get this toilet, burst in there, 5 traps, and about 5 people waiting for each trap. And you don't want to sit and stand in that queue, get there, and then sit on a warm seat that someone's been in. I was like, that is epitome of hell. And you'll get there, and there's probably going to be no toilet paper as well.
Shit up the wall.
Yeah, no toilet paper. It's like it's all kinds of the worst situation ever.
God.
So I thought, right, it's a big airport. There's definitely another toilet near. So I literally stepped it all the way to the other side of the airport, found a toilet exactly the same. And I was like, I'm just gonna have to wait for the plane. And I looked at the time. And there's like, probably about an hour or something like that. And, these things do. You don't get on a plane like dead easy and quick, do you? So I went and seen Laura. She's still in the same shop.
You're emotional by now,
I'm proper emotional, yeah.
Right.
I'm getting like angsty,
Yeah.
I'm like, Laura, you need to go out of here. I need to go to this plane. She's like, just go to a normal toilet, why are you being a baby about it? I told her the story. And anyway, I was like, I'm just going to have to wait. And, I couldn't stand still. You know what it's like.
Yeah. We know what that's
so
like. We've all been there.
Eventually, we started going to where you go aboard. Still had a good half an hour or something. And I seen a toilet, and it was disabled or baby changing. And I was like, we've got a baby with us.
Yes.
And we need to change him anyway. We need to check him out. So we got there, toilet, nobody waiting, opened it, went inside, changed the baby. And I was like, I'm going to have to sit and have a poo in front of her and this baby now.
No.
And I was like,
no.
I've never actually done this in front of somebody before. And just at that stage on the door, and I thought, if them two leave, they're going to have to open the door, and I'm sat on the toilet at this stage, and there's a big queue outside, so people are going to see me sat on the toilet.
Surely they wouldn't open the door while you're sat on the toilet.
Pardon?
So you're in the toilet with your missus,
so
the
it's
kid.
just one spare cubicle.
Yeah, I've seen them.
So it's for disabled and children.
Yeah,
so if they're left, there's just me left. So that if they leave with a baby, the guy's going to think there's nobody in there.
Right. Okay.
And where you open the toilet, there's like a queue for the other toilets.
Okay.
Almost. So I was like, you're going to have to stay in here. And this guy's knocking. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to do a big pony in front of my missus and my child here. So I was like, and she's, because I was getting like probably worked up, emotional, everything's going through me at this stage. She found it hilarious, which added fuel to the fire. So this happened,
You're
right?
touching cloth, and she's joking about it.
Yeah, the more anxious I'm getting about this, the more hysterical she's getting, and that's not the funny part. So then, anyway, I did my pony, and then I had to get my.
Did she watch you?
Yeah, I made her face the corner. I was like, stand in the corner, face the wall, while she's laughing. And there's a guy like that the whole time.
Sounds like the fucking Blair Witch.
Proper, yeah, couldn't get any worse for me. Anyway, it wasn't much pushing. It was out quick.
Did it stink?
I don't know. I wasn't really into that. That was the last thing on my mind at the time.
Can you picture the scene? Just pause this story, right? What you've got here is this disabled toilet, right? He's going bad here, right? Right? He's having a fucking right nightmare.
Proper nightmare.
You know when you need one, and you just feel a certain way, don't you?
Yeah.
All your thought process goes. You're emotional. You're snappy. You're
vulnerable.
You're vulnerable. He's got his lass to stand in the corner, facing the corner, like the Blair Witch Project.
Laughing her head off.
Kids in the arm.
Little Theo on the
Theo's popping over the shoulder.
Yeah.
You sat down on the toilet. You've wooded.
Yeah.
It's all come out.
Shoes falling out of a loft.
So then,
right, and this is a question for the people, right? So you're in these places. They've got like a one-ply toilet paper, haven't they?
Yeah,
like,
finger pusher through us.
Yeah, like so. What I do is I get it and I fold it into there's maybe it's like 4 squares. So I get it and I move it up my thigh and I turn it like that.
Right.
So I've got a little like hanky and then a wipe.
Yeah.
Right. And she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, I've seen the toilet paper. It's crap. I need to do this." And she's finding it even more hysterical, laughing even louder. And
so
I'm
she's watching you to see this.
She's turned around and she's seeing this now.
Oh, no.
And this is like, this is even worse.
I'm a folder though.
And she said, "No, you just get like a big load of it."
She's showing you how to wipe your bum.
And I was like,
showing you how you wipe your bum.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a grown adult. This is how I do it."
You should have
And
just bent over and said, "Go on then." So you should have said, "Go on then, you sort it."
Yeah, I wasn't. I was vulnerable at this stage.
Right.
Remember, I'm shaking. I'm out my comfort zone.
Right, so
There's knocking on the door.
So she's teaching you how to use toilet roll.
So yeah. So basically, and then it came into an argument, still like about toilet paper. How she just gets loads of wipes, and I get it, and I like to fold. I don't know if you're the same. I've lived with them, and I've seen how much toilet paper it goes through. So I know. But
I'm a hand wrapper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, and after what seemed like 2 hours, which probably is about 10 minutes, we left, and there was a proper disabled guy outside who waited all this time. Mate, I've never felt so small in all my life.
Oh man!
Oh my god, mate! So that was the perfect end to my beautiful holiday.
I can't.
But even like hours later, Laura would just burst out laughing, just going about this scene and about me folding my paper.
Oh man!
I mean,
that's a bad turn, that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's. I can't comprehend. I can't comprehend. I don't think I'll ever be able to poo in front of somebody unless I'm medically ill. Unless I'm literally, I've got no choice because I'm that ill and I'm in hospital.
Yeah.
But that moment of you standing there, right, sitting on that toilet, dropping your shoes out that loft, with your lass, first stood
time
like the Blair Witch, then stood watching you wipe your bum. I mean, that would be the end of the relationship. That would be the end. You have to go your separate ways. It's been nice. We've had a good time, And
even hours afterwards, when she thought this was hilarious, I was still furious about it.
Of course, because you hold them, don't you?
Proper hold a grudge.
Oh, so you were sat on the plane, she's giggling in the car, you're all fuming and angry and that.
Like the food comes on the plane and you get my napkin, she's like, oh, you're going to fold that, are you?
Oh, no, mate.
And it went on and on.
Yeah,
and on.
Of course.
Yeah.
Until breaking point, there must have been a snap, surely. Surely.
Well, it was probably words exchanged, and she probably, realised to not push anymore.
He's pushing you too far.
Yeah.
That is a horrendous story.
Horrendous story, yeah.
I can't believe it's real. I don't
horrendous for me, hysterical for her. She loves it.
I don't know how you got.
I think a lot of girls would probably find that quite funny because they're quite open. They're pooing in front of the friends and stuff, don't they? They're like different breeds to us. Women.
Yeah, they are.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. My missus is in a uni house, and they all like openly. If the boyfriends aren't there, they all walk around naked, all like piss together, like shit together.
Yeah.
Like shower. So they'll go in and brush their teeth. Like I like my own space.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And like. My missus even tries to come in when I have a piss. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I full on just can't. I holding it, and I need you to leave. Like I can't function. It's just you need that space, don't you?
So I'm going stag do next year, and they were like, oh, we've got this hotel room that sleeps 4, and I was like, all right, I'm sharing a bathroom. They're like, yeah, but it's cheap, and I was like, I don't care if it's cheap. I'm going to get my own room in that hotel, and they were like, why? And I says, I'm not waking up with all you people hungover. And then I said, I need to go have a poo and just, be by myself, gather my thoughts.
Build my walls.
But be in my comfort zone. And then I'll go deal with you people. But I can't just be amongst you.
Where are you going?
It's bounced around a few places. But you won't be watching this podcast, I hope. But it's Belfast.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Northern Ireland.
But this he doesn't know that. It's like a complete secret. So.
Oh shit! Right. I might bleep that.
So yeah. Hopefully he'll never watch this podcast.
No. Or hopefully he does. More the merrier.
Well,
we'd like it if he'd watch it.
The secret would be out, wouldn't it? So
yeah, it would. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd spoil a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But so that's where we're going. I'd never thought Belfast of a place to go. I actually Googled the other night, is it safe in Belfast?
Yeah.
But,
I've never met anybody that's ever been to Belfast.
You just think about IRA, war,
Yeah,
all gonna
you
die.
do, yeah.
But
and you'd think stag do, I swear that's like Marbella or somewhere like Mallorca or something.
yeah, well, it started off somewhere like nice and hot, but then
Yeah.
they're all a little bit tight and they're like, no, I want to go here, I want to go there. And then one of the lads actually lives in Belfast, so
Oh, does
turned
he?
out we went to Belfast.
Sounds for him.
Yeah.
It's worked out well for him.
Because every time we're going somewhere, he was struggling to get the flight from. He'd have to fly from Belfast to England and England to where we were going.
I imagine it's reasonably priced, right? Because it's not like a number one tourist destination. I imagine
for flights or for
well,
accommodation or everything.
the whole shaboogle, you know.
It was like I think they paid about 80, 90 quid for a flight. And I paid 160 because I wanted, extra leg room at 5'8".
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring extra luggage on for my 3-day trip.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Naturally.
Adam.
You get to a point.
I'm just too pretentious now.
You get to I was going to say, you get to a point in life where sharing rooms with other men is just not acceptable. I remember once.
If I was 21,
yeah,
brilliant.
Same. I remember once I was, the extra leg room. I used to think, what are you talking about? Like, you don't need stuff like that. And like sharing rooms with people, not a problem.
That's where I'm at. That's currently where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, you might.
It's
always
just
be.
a place to lay your head.
Yeah, but for me, I've reached a point in life where I refuse those things now. I refuse to. I want the extra leg room, or I'm not going.
Once again, another story about me being vulnerable on the toilet. That was from sharing a room with other guys.
No way.
Remember the first holiday in Zante that we went to? So we were early 20s.
Yes.
So I shared a room with 3 others, Nick, Tomo and Rye.
That's right.
And every single day, he turned up late, got his own room. So
Of course he did.
his holiday cost more than all of our 4 put together, I think, in the end.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is Dan Brown.
Yeah.
Daniel Brown.
I did it my way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That worked for you.
So, but it was great because it was our first actual holiday and it was just such a good laugh all being together. But every single day, one person would just get picked on. So it was his day and he was going to get tortured. And every single day, someone got it, And it was just a really funny trip. And then I think it was one of the last days. So there's a room of 4 of us and the toilet door didn't have a lock on.
Of course it didn't.
So the 4th day, so we're drinking all day, all night. Next day, hungover, drinking again, drinking all night. Got to the 4th day, and I was absolutely buckled. You're twitching, you're anxious, you're just you don't want to be with these people anymore.
No.
And you have to go drinking again. And then I need the toilet, and they're all in the room, and they're all joking around, messing about, and I'm like, oh fuck, there's no lock on the door. Went to the toilet, sat in the toilet again. I don't know why my toilet's going to be on this podcast so much.
Yeah, it's good though.
And I just hear,
oh, no.
everyone's chatting away and all that, and then all of a sudden I go to the toilet and it goes eerie silent, and I'm like, oh shit, and then you just hear, and I just hear, and I'm sat there and I'm like,
waiting for it,
and I just hear. And I'm like, they're plotting something out there, fuck. And this went on for ages. And the walking around out there, and it's just so eerie quiet. And I'm like, come on. And then all of a sudden, boom, toilet door gets kicked open. A camera phone in my face. And then while the others threw water bombs at me. So I'm sat there trying to dodge these water bombs with the camera phone in my face. And then I'm screaming at him. I'm throwing everything, at them in the toilet. Get out, going absolutely mental. I've lost my shit, I'm absolutely going,
pants around your ankles.
They say never go full retard. I went full retard, I was going crazy. And then anyway, I finished up. They all left the room. I pulled myself together, and I was, still a bit emotional about it, a bit pissed off.
Yeah.
And I went down. They were all laid on some lounges. They were all laughing at me as I come walking out. Oh, there he is. Yeah. All this banter. I was seething inside. So I went and got me a cup of coffee, me toasty. That's what you need on a holiday.
Of course you do.
And I'm walking back to my sun lounges, fucking wankers. And I get there, and just as I'm about to sit down, they go, boom, kick me in the pool, me toasting me coffee. Fuck me. I was fuming.
Toasty coffee.
It's a bad day for you,
everywhere.
that thing. Oh no! Can you imagine? Fuming.
I got out that pool and I had to just leave them. I had to go to a room and just
Have some quiet time. Time
Yeah.
out.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, mate.
How bad's that?
That's the worst. That's the worst.
Lads' holidays are brutal though, aren't they?
I know.
I remember my first night up and it was similar sort of shit. God, Not as bad as yours, to be fair, but that's just like...
Just everyone got it every single day, and I was like, I'm going to get away with this. You know, like I thought I'm going to get away with this. But then, right at the end...
It's your turn.
My turn.
But if you show you're annoyed, like if you proper show you're seething, then
Yeah.
it's so much worse for you. Then you'll get it all day.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know firsthand.
That's exactly what happened, yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
You got to banter it off, don't you?
Yeah.
If you don't banter it off, it's a rough day.
Yeah. Eventually, I think I just got drunk and it was fine, but
yeah.
that was the worst morning of my life.
So it was a morning one, was it?
Yeah, that was first thing in the morning, waking up and
Hungover as well.
Yeah, you're hanging.
Yeah, it was bad. Brought a bad time.
And it was right, as you say, right near the end of the holiday.
Yeah, so it was just, waking up in the morning, just getting drunk all day, drunk all night. You're going through it again. You're on a week's holiday and it was like right at the end and you just battered, aren't you? You're sick of these people. You just want to be at home in your own bed, clean. And that happens.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know about the pool bit. I knew about the toilet bit. That rings a bell when you tell me the story. I think I remember that. I don't remember you being kicked in the pool as well. Like that's an evil.
That was
twist.
proper. Yeah, that was sinister.
Yeah, it was sinister. That.
Did you have your day, Daniel? Or
well, he was very segregated. So
I had a separate room. So
Daniel at the time wouldn't go in the pool because of his hair.
Yeah,
because he had a Luke from the Kooks do.
I had that phase.
He would bring himself together, have something healthy, and then he'd come out when he was ready.
Yeah. Yeah,
He was he'd have his day the rest of the day when we're all drunk and he'll come meet us.
It worked well, really, by default, because I wasn't going with them at first. I was like a late clinger runner.
Right.
So I wasn't being an arsehole. I just, their room was full. They got a 4-man room. There was, 4 beds. So if I wanted to come, I had to get my own room. Mm-hmm. So I did. And it worked out well. Because
but you're quite an individual person, aren't you? Like to do things your own way and everything. And
yeah, totally.
Even then, though, what age was this?
Mid-20s?
Yeah, 24, I think, wasn't it?
24.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. We weren't old.
No.
But yeah, no, I escaped the trauma, luckily. Sounds horrible.
You just got sold a load of fake weed, remember that?
Oregano.
What? No way.
Turns out you can get high off oregano.
I think, yeah.
A little bit.
She just went out there, bought a big thing of oregano.
So it was a stoner back in the day, as we spoke about previously. So going from like a massive, 20-a-day habit to going to a different country or a little island, and then you spoke to somebody and asked somebody to ask somebody, and eventually this guy was like, right, meet me in this bar right down in the basement, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
And he went down there and he gave you a big fuck off bag full of it.
Did he?
For like, it's about 80 quid or something. And you were like, this is going to sort me the rest of the holiday. And you went back to the room giddy and you blazed it all up. And the hotel owners, we got on with them, didn't we?
That was it.
And eventually they're seeing it and they pissed themselves laughing. They went, this is oregano. How much did you spend for it?
Yeah.
You know, so fuck, I'm still going to smoke it.
An 80 quid bag of oregano.
No way.
Yeah. Well, I'd started, I might as well
so
carry
you just
on.
smoked it all?
I just smoked it, yeah.
Did you not think this doesn't taste like weed?
No, it just tasted a bit herby, I felt something, I felt something to smoking it. I don't know what I felt. I don't know if it was high, like weed high, but I felt changed,
Yeah.
Yeah. It was all right.
Wouldn't buy it again, though.
No, I wouldn't advise it. No.
We'll go to Zante to buy oregano again.
No, it was a good call, to be fair. It looked like weed.
Mentally, though, it probably made you feel like you were smoking weed, and
I think it
worked.
did. Yeah, I think it did, yeah. Remember the pickpocket kids?
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened to me on the first day.
Yeah.
So I never had a phone for the whole holiday. That's what happened to me.
Oh, yeah, you used my phone, when you?
Yeah, it was...
Racking up bills.
They were the best pickpockets
Still
in the
owe
world.
me for that, anyway. Speak after this.
Yeah, the kids, they've got these pickpocket kids.
Gypsy kids, aren't they?
Yeah, they call them gypsy kids.
All right.
Really clever. You can't tell they're doing it,
So Dan got, like, really, 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 really drunk, like...
Yeah.
To an emotional state, and we lost him, and then we just found him laid on the floor, like with all these kids outside of a caravan, and the parents mincing about, And then when we dragged him up from the floor, going, do you know where you? Like, you didn't know where he was or anything, and he had nothing. Like they took everything.
Yeah.
Off it.
Money, phone, everything.
Not passport. Passport was back at the room.
Yeah.
Luckily. Yeah. Yeah, they're little devils like, weren't they? Proper
That's
little
brutal.
devils.
That just
Yeah.
took everything.
Yeah, God, that's a funny place, isn't it? Zante,
I don't think it's like that now.
isn't it?
Well, I haven't been, but surely they can't.
Yeah, I think they're everywhere around there.
Yeah, it was some funny characters. Remember the African guy I made friends with? Remember him?
Massive T, Big
Massive
Tony.
T, Big Tony.
So I think it was the first night, wasn't it?
Mm.
He got, like you say, I don't think he drank much then. And
No.
this time you I don't know, you went into a different person. It was almost like he was spiked with something.
Yeah.
And we didn't see this, but we found out the next day. So we were walking down the strip the next day.
Tomo saw it. Mike saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Mike was there.
So he'd have probably told us and we probably didn't believe him. Just like, I didn't understand the extremity of it. But we walked down the strip and there's a bouncer there. And he's like colossal in size. He's like, what would you say? He's about 6'8", isn't he?
Yeah.
And
He looks like Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, he looked like Ronnie Coleman. So
Like,
if you
like
can
a
imagine,
Ghanaian Ronnie Coleman.
yeah, if you can imagine Ghanaian Ronnie Coleman, and he's just the biggest, evilest, scariest motherfucker you've seen.
Yeah.
Like, and we're walking down, and he just goes, "Hey!" and screams at you, and you're like, "What?" And then he just comes over, grabs hold of you, hugs you, and just goes, "This is my guy. This man last night, hilarious. You tried to fight me." And we're all like, "What? What did you do?" And he's going, "You were pulling your hair out, crying because I wouldn't fight you."
What?
And we're like, "What?" And we're like, what was going through your mind? And he was like, "Yes." He took his top off. He was crying. He was trying to pull his hair out, wanting to fight me. And all these bar owners, like shop owners, coming out going, "Oh, it's him from last night." Yeah. Like,
No memory of this, of course.
and he didn't understand any of it. He had to be in the centre of attention, and he was massively hungover. So yeah, and then after that, he was your best friend, wasn't he?
Yeah, he took after that. Again, I have no memory of this night. I don't know what happened. I do remember it was really surreal when this guy, the next day was like, he was saying, "You last night telling me this story," and all these different people from the bar, like the bar owners, was an ice cream shop, a takeaway. They all came out. And they're all like shaking my hand and like half laughing, but half saying, "How you doing, mate? How you doing, mate?" Like, I was like a little mini celebrity. Like I was.
Weird, wasn't it?
It's like I had fame. And
People like had customers in shops, and they were just going like, "Wait a second," just leaving the shop,
Leaving the
to
shop.
go over the road and just say like, "Mate, last night you were crazy man."
Yeah, and
hilarious.
Can you imagine being in that situation but not knowing what's going on? And you're like, yeah, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, this Ghanaian Francis Ngannou guy,
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
yeah, he took a shine to us and became a bit of a friend, didn't
Didn't
he?
you go back to his house as well?
That was the second time we went.
back to Zante, didn't we? Was it a year or two later?
Yeah, so returned to Zante.
And he was like, "It's you," and you were like, "It's you."
Yeah, we went back and we met him, and there was a night where that was a very, very peculiar night. That where I ended up. So it was a normal night. We'd all gone out, like you do on these lads' holidays. All kinds of silliness. On these holidays, I'm not sure what they're feeding you or what you're drinking, but I'm sure there's something in it that's making your memory block. Because I don't remember the entire night. I just remember sort of coming round, and it was the daytime, right? It was like morning. It was sunny, and it was morning.
Were you date raped?
And picture the scene.
By
Like,
Francis Ngannou.
like I must have just been like, like slumped and like just like came round. And like I've looked, and there's a balloon in my hand, right? A blown
Yeah,
up.
because everyone just does balloons and Zante.
Yeah, and it's like a heat. One of them big,
Nitrous oxide.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff. And I've looked round, right? I've got no top on, just my shorts, right? And I've got a balloon, and I've looked, and Tony, this African guy who's now become a friend, we've known him over 2 holidays now. Do you know what I mean? He sat here on a chair with.
Nonetheless, he's still very, very scary.
He's still very scary. and on the table, there's loads of cheap Zante drink, like bottles of vodka and stuff like this. The sun's blazing at us. Tony is sat here, again, 6'8", big overweight guy. He's got his top off and his man boobs out, right? But he's wearing his cap still.
he had like an, like an average like human's cap, but it looked like like a tiny like a joke cap in the middle of his head.
Yeah.
Top hat.
Yeah.
Like because his head was too big for the cap.
Because he was that big. He just had this tiny little cap perched on the top of his head.
When a normal person wears a cap, it's 80% head and 20% cap. That's the ratio.
Yeah.
When he wears a cap, it's 98-2. So you've got this huge bowling ball of a head, big jaw it is, and this little tiny hat sat on top, like just in his hair. And he's there with his belly out, and he's got a teacup in his hand with what I assume was alcohol. He's also got a full balloon in his hand, and he's half asleep as well. And I'm looking at him, and I just hear, and I'm like, that wasn't Tony. And I look, and there's another guy here, another African guy. He's got big dreadlocks, right? He's got his top off, right? So he's got his top off. He's holding a nitrous oxide gun, and he's just inhaled a balloon. And yeah, then I came round, and then for the next couple of hours, me and nobody said a word. Nobody, there was no words.
Yeah.
Just sat there, silent, sipping out these teacups, and the occasional, a balloon would be passed, and then just, holding it in. It was surreal. So sat with these two Africans, supping balloons.
Wow. Big T.
There's
I wonder where he
Yeah.
is. I wonder what he's doing.
He'll still be there.
He's still there. I'm friends with him on
Zante.
Facebook.
Yeah.
He goes every year. He lives in Sweden. So
Sweden?
I follow him.
Because Sweden's an expensive place to live, isn't it?
Yeah, he lives in Stockholm. So what seems to happen is every October, he puts a picture on of him getting on a plane.
Yeah.
And then through the winter, he's not a big poster, but 2 or 3 times a year, there'll be a picture of him just living his life in Stockholm. And then every May, another picture, back on an aeroplane. And then for the next 6 months, there's the occasional picture of him with a vest on a boat.
Yeah.
He's living his life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's really young and he just looks old. Do you know what I mean?
Proper weathered.
Yeah, proper weathered.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. He was a
Character.
very strange. It's weird what you do on them holidays, though.
Isn't it? Funny night, that, though.
Can I stop for a wee? Is that all right?
Of course, go for it.
I drank a lot of water.
All right.
Do you know something that's been in my mind, right? I'm not, putting it on a dark note, but I want to ask you, do you not fear this? You know I've got this, right? I'm petrified of letting go of youth.
Yeah, you are.
I'm very scared. It's something that brings me a lot of, I don't know if I say anxiety, but a lot of, it's scary. It's, these lads, they going on these lads' holidays and being young enough to go on them and realising that window's gone and that's not possible.
I think you take things to to the extreme of everything, don't you? So, for example, I'm going to stag do, so you can do things like that. You can go on golf holidays. I went on holiday 2 years ago at Ibiza, and it was quite a calmish holiday. It was just as COVID kind of lockdown came off.
I remember.
So I went there, and there was over in Ibiza. Then you were still, the bars would shut at 12. Then it moved to 1, I think, or 2.
Did it?
So it was quite a PC holiday. So you can do that. You're not letting go of youth. You're still enjoying these lads' holidays. You can still live your life.
You just
just think it's over. you look at it as if I have a child or if this happens, that's it. My life's over, and I need to be this mature adult. But we're all young at heart, aren't we? We're all still divvies inside.
The thing is that you said, it's a good point actually. The holidays and things don't have to stop. The social events and things don't have to stop, but they'll just slightly change to what they used to be.
Yeah,
so
you're just not as wild. You're more wise.
Yeah, like our holidays to Greece back in the day. 3-4 lads in a room, carnage all day, flying about on quad bikes, risking our lives. Those days are gone.
Bonnet rolling coppers.
Bonnet rolling cop cars, yeah.
What?
Yeah. It was, that was daft to be fair.
Yeah.
One of the lads we were with, I say it seems pretty, I'm sure people do worse things than that,
Yeah.
but it was kind of like what he was thinking. It was the middle of the strip, right? We've all been to a Greece strip. You've been to the Iron Apple strip. It's the strip.
Yeah.
It was prime time. We're talking midnight, so it was booming, absolutely booming. And one lad we were with, and do you know what the thing is? We weren't even that drunk. We hadn't been out long.
He just, over the months leading up to that, he just started to do this thing where when he got drunk, he'd just do a bonnet roll over a cop car, and he got it off to an absolute T, where you'd be walking along and then just go poof like that, and it literally bonnet roll over, land on his feet, and carry on walking like that. It was like so seamless.
Yeah.
And he did it in Zante, and them coppers were a bit naughty, aren't they?
Yeah,
And they kind of came chasing after us, and we somehow managed to talk him out of it, but
yeah,
he was not happy at all.
No.
To say the least.
No. Remember the horse and cart?
And he did it in Newcastle once. So we went up to Newcastle, similar kind of time in our life, and we all got drunk, and there was traffic lights and walk across traffic lights. There's a taxi at the traffic lights that we're walking across.
With somebody in it?
Yeah, taxi full of people, and Raj goes, boof, bonnet rolls it, lands on his feet, and the biggest, like, thick-set Geordie taxi driver got out, and Raj just took off, and this guy took off after him.
Never.
Left his car full of people and took off, and he ran and ran and ran for fucking ages.
Did he get away?
He got away, but this guy was going to absolutely murder him.
Never.
Like, it didn't leave a dent, I don't think, in his bonnet or anything like that.
No.
But, this guy just, was going to kill him.
He just bonnet rolled the wrong car.
That's what happened there.
Yeah. Imagine you got filled in by a taxi driver for that. Imagine. He would have
I
as well.
think that was probably the last time he did it.
Yeah.
Because this guy chased him for absolutely miles. Because we had to go catch up with him afterwards, and he was gone. And you would have been as well.
Yeah. You find extra speed in those situations, don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like running with your slippers on. You know? You're like turbo fast, aren't you, with your slippers on? Really fast. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But you don't have any, like, negative... You never have really had any issue with the fact that you're leaving the youth behind, let's just say.
Well, we're getting older, aren't we? It's inevitable.
You take it so gracefully. You always have done. You take age so gracefully. Accepting.
Well, what are you going to do? Cry about it? There's nothing you can do about it. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. So you just let it be. Embrace it. These years, rather than being anxious or worrying about them or being gutted that you can't do things you used to do, just think of the positives and make that time count, really.
And just adapt.
Adapt, yeah. You can still go on holidays. Just don't go... But you're more mature now. Like we were saying before, instead of being in a room full of, 4 of yous, you have a nicer hotel and you have your own room, and stuff like that.
Sounds better, to be fair, doesn't it?
Well, you always did, didn't you?
Yeah.
I suppose.
So things haven't changed really for you.
No.
But for instead of normally when you go out, and you're coming home at 4, 5, 6 in the morning, you now get to 12, 1, you're like, I'm knackered, do you want to go home? And you go to bed then,
You'd be doing yourself a lot of favours. I think.
And you feel loads better when you wake up. Don't get me wrong, you're still, that childish part of you still, that youthful side still comes out, and you still get really drunk one night and make a tit of yourself. You're still, smashing drinks in around the pool at 1 o'clock, But you're just a bit smarter, aren't you?
Allegedly.
Carry yourself a bit better, I'd like to think.
Yeah. That's supposed to be how it is. But we all know people that hang on too long.
Yeah.
I know some. We know some. I won't name names.
Yeah.
But there's people we know that are our age and older that are still living that.
Some people, they just want to go to super clubs and still do things they shouldn't be doing and living that youthful life. But
it's always been a fear of mine, and I heard it years ago being we saw it.
Yeah, the oldest man in the club.
The old guy in the club. It's such a horror. Do you
Sad,
remember when we were in the nightclubs as kids, and if we know who the guy was, we won't say names, but there was always a older man, and he was older. He was in his 50s, and he was in the club around young people, and it was really creepy to see.
Yeah, you'd hate to be that person, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So I guess when you think of that, it's best that's gone. Yeah.
I think life's, you want to settle down and either have kids or you don't want to settle down and just enjoy yourself and, go on nice holidays and, I don't know, plow your money into a house or a nice car or something. And just, enjoy your time, really.
It's true. It's true. Look, I'm 38. I'm feeling a difference in mindset. Did I tell you I viewed a house today?
No.
I viewed a house. Yeah, I want to see a house.
Can you say where? Or
In Darlington.
a bit more specific?
Well, it was in Danesmoor. You don't know where that is,
Yeah, I do.
do you?
Danesmoor Crescent.
What the fuck? How do you know that? It's one of the smallest, quietest streets in the town.
Yeah, I used to run Danesmoor.
Ah! Yeah, I went to view it today.
All right, cool.
It was
Nice
comp-
little place.
Street's gorgeous, brilliant neighbourhood,
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous. Inside, unfortunately, it was a deceased person's house, so it was horrific, is the word, inside.
Yeah.
But as my mum said, you don't look at it like that. You look at it as what's the potential, you know?
Yeah.
What could it be?
Are you buying it or renting it or?
I'd like to buy it. I'm in the process of trying to obtain a mortgage.
Right, okay.
So if all goes well,
They're the best houses, you know,
Yeah.
to buy because they're a bit cheaper and you can really update them, put your own stamp on them. It takes a lot of work and it's a proper chew.
yeah, if
But
you
for someone like you who doesn't have kids and stuff like that, you know, you could live in it and just do room by room.
it's quite daunting though, because as somebody that I'm not, you know, much like you, we're not, you know,
DIY savvy.
DIY savvy. And I was walking around today, and you know, with the best will in the world, you know, you're looking at everything, you're thinking, oh, you could knock that wall through, you could extend here, you could do, and you're looking at it, and you thought, oh, just a new kitchen, da 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 da. Like, you know, one of them houses where like you feel like it hasn't been updated since the 1950s. It was one of them. Like, I mean, it had like original features in and stuff, and it was like, oh no, but it was cheaper for the area.
Yeah.
And if you look like at the other houses in the street, they've got like new families in, and them houses are gorgeous, but they've had, you know, they've been brought along with the times. So yeah, if you can wave a magic wand and make it like that, wow, God, your beautiful home. But
Just need 50 grand on it to drop on it.
and the rest,
Yeah.
an extension would be 100 grand before you even start, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, everything else, like new kitchen and stuff like that.
But it's daunting, you know, looking at it, thinking like, this would take a lifetime. You know what I mean? To do like.
They always say buy the worst house in the best street.
That's what this is. This is the worst house in the best street.
Well, that's what you want.
And the prices for what it is, I won't drop prices and stuff, but for the area, like, and you know, I've done a bit
Is
of
it
research.
detached or how many bedrooms?
Semi 3. I say 3. One's not. One,
like
you couldn't get a bed in the
yeah,
bedroom. Do you know what I mean?
almost,
It's basically 2. It's a 2-bedroom, a 2/3 bedroom, semi-detached in the west end of Darlington, which is prime location. It's just off Carmel Road. That's where
Yeah.
Danesmoor is. Really nice, really nice street.
Nice street.
Really quiet little. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. We'll see how it goes. But from somebody who's not that way inclined, it is daunting to think how you couldn't live in it now. Like if I owned it now, you couldn't go move in. It's not livable now. You know what I mean? It's minging.
You could just gut it and you start bedroom by bedroom. You know, you gut it, you do your bedroom first and your kitchen, and that's it.
How
And
do you
then-
feel about like houses with deceased people in? Because I'm not going to lie, I didn't know, right, when we were looking around it today. I'll tell you what we saw. When we were looking around, my
Chalk outline.
mum went to talk to the woman, you know, the estate agent,
Yeah.
and I went off on my own. And like I was like walking around it in horror, like, oh my God, like this is minging. But I just kept thinking, this is Danesmoor Crescent. And this is a semi-detached in Danesmoor Crescent. This is where you need to be. You need to own this property. Anyway, after we got out, as I was like walking around, like she said, my mum was blabbering away, and she said, and because she was, you know, saying there's no chain, blah 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 blah, saying this is a good one to go for because it'll be quick, it'll be no chew, they'll be straight through, and it's a deceased. And I was like, what do you mean? It's a deceased person's house. When I was in the house, when I was looking in the wardrobe, I seen
What are you doing in the wardrobe?
because there was a wardrobe upstairs. I'd have a look. It was a built, you know, like one that's built in.
Yeah.
I'd have a look. So I opened it, and there was women's clothes in there and some shoes, right? And I didn't know this at the time. I was like, oh, it must be a woman's house. When we got out, afterwards, I felt like, so like she might have died in that house. Like she might have died in that house.
Yeah, she might have, but if you think of any house, most houses have had people dying unless they're a new build.
Does that not scare you a little bit to think you've moved in a deceased person's house? I just think, oof.
I'm not really superstitious. So
Yeah, I'm not bothered either.
wouldn't bother me that
Never
way.
seen Paranormal Activity, no?
Yeah.
No?
If that's going to knock 30-40 grand off, I'm laughing.
Yeah. to
Talk
be
the shit out of me.
yeah.
I'll wear them clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, it has knocked 20 or 30 grand off,
Yeah.
to be fair. But yeah. Deceased people's houses, like, ooh. I wouldn't be first few nights in there, like, I'd be saying, come to sleep over, like, do you know what I mean? Like, anyone come round, you know? You would. I'm scared of shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm scared of ghosts. Watch too many horror films. You know? Yeah, so look, I know you two people have not watched Paranormal Activity.
I've watched it.
All of them.
First and second one, yeah.
Huh. So that didn't get in your head then?
It's a film, isn't it? I just see it as a film.
Do you?
Yeah.
See, we've had this discussion before. If there's monsters on a film, like stuff that couldn't happen, then yeah, it's just silly. Like the Gremlins and shit like that. No, it's silly. I see that. That film, A Quiet Place, great film where it's quiet all the way through. Have you watched it before?
No.
Really awkward to watch in the cinema because it's quiet the whole film, so you can't crunch your nachos. It's proper chew. But yeah, it's off it. A film that's just got no sound.
Right.
Very strange film to watch in the cinema.
You're not selling it well.
No,
it's a brilliant film though.
Brilliant film. But when you get to the end and you see what the baddies are, the monsters, you're like, oh, this is nonsense. Like they spoiled a great film with a bad baddie. And you don't see the baddie till 3/4 of the way through the film.
It's actually terrifying because you don't know what they look like, and they sort of give you hints, and then you get to it and they look so unrealistic like that.
And you're like, oh, this is rubbish.
Chew.
Proper spoiled the film.
It's not as scary. I think when you can't see the monsters.
I've dated her once.
Yeah, but where was I going with it? Where was I going with that? What was I talking about?
House prices, monsters.
Just
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
But that shit
That is proper scary, that film, by
that
the
can
way.
happen. That shit scares me. Monsters, nonsense, not interested. Aliens, never seen one, not interested. Murderers, it's just a guy. It's 50-50. I'm not saying I'll win, but it's not definitely going to get me. If a murderer's coming for you, you've got a chance. It's only a human. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's only a human. You've got a chance.
The probability of a murderer coming to murder you rather than a ghost who's going to haunt you.
But these, you've got no chance. You've got no chance against if that shit's real, paranormal activity is real. It doesn't matter how big and tough you are.
You said if, and it's not.
Yeah, but there's been some stuff's happened in the past. Stuff's happened, man. That frightens me. I believe in ghosts. I think ghosts are real. But I think it's if you want to believe them.
Yeah, if you want to believe them, unless I physically see one and have my experience, then not really going to believe it.
Yeah, not for me. Not for me. Well, yeah, this thing of deceased houses is where it comes from. This is
But yeah, I think it'd be class if you bought it. You just need to really project manage it, don't you? You have to get everyone you know who's in the building trade, a plasterer, plumber. Just get them there and say, right. So my boss has just done this with a 7-bedroomed house.
Wow.
And it's took him to the brink of and back. Very similar. He's bought a house just on the outskirts of Wynyard. Right. 7-bedroomed. It hadn't been lived in for 3 years. The guy lived overseas. And he needed to gut this house and start again. Very similar kind of thing. And it's cost him he got it for hundreds of thousands less, but it's cost him probably hundreds of thousands to get right. But by God, has he done a good job?
Has he?
Yeah.
Took some doing though.
Yeah, but you just have to be on it. First of all, you need a massive, endless bucket of cash. 10 times more than you thought you were going to need. And then you just need to be on people all the time, just,
Project managing.
Yeah. He kind of jumped as well into it with the family. So he's just paying people more than they normally charge. Leave that job you're doing. You're coming to do my job, basically.
Yeah.
And screaming at people to get them there and do the job right. But yeah, incredible house now.
And it's 7 bedrooms.
7 bedrooms,
I've never been in a 7-bedroom house. Have you, South Paul? I can't imagine.
So I thought Tomo's house was big, but he's got 5, I think, hasn't he, in self-contained flat. But this is 7-bedroomed.
You've been in it?
And one of them's a cinema room as well. It's
what?
Yeah, it's insane, absolutely insane.
Cinema room. Where is this house?
Just outside of Wynyard.
Wow.
So if it was in Wynyard, it'd have been worth millions and millions.
Is it old or a new build?
Old-ish.
Is it?
Yeah.
How old-ish?
I don't know. Maybe it's 20 years, something.
So one of them old new builds sort of thing.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like Faverdale, old new builds now, some of them.
Yeah.
There's still a new estate, but they've been there for 20 years.
Well, it's in a tiny village.
Is it?
It's in Wolverston, yeah. So it's... Wolverston's right on the outskirts and he's right at the end of Wolverston. So literally the only thing that separates is roundabout between him and Wynyard.
Right.
And he's actually building a house in Wynyard as well. But his house would have been millions if it was just over that road, basically.
Wow.
But yeah, incredible house.
But through him doing that work, he's put the value up.
Oh God, yeah.
Stupid.
Because I said to him, why don't you just flip this house? You know, you've done it all. It's to the best standard ever. You know, sell it and make your additional money and move on to a bigger house or a better house. And he's like, nah, this is my forever home now.
Really?
But yeah.
That's the Wynyard one? Oh, no.
No, this
where he is, yeah,
the one
sorry.
from Wynyard's going to be
Flipped.
it's going to be flipped. But yeah, it's
How do you get, I know this is probably the most boring topic ever, but how do you get, like, you know, if you've got a mortgage, how do you get a second mortgage? Is that a thing?
so if you want to buy to sell, you would you need something like a 40% deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just get a mortgage on it. And then you buy it and sell it.
That's how it works.
You need 40%, I think it is. So I
See,
looked into it once.
I'm looking to step into the property market at some point in the next year, and I'd love to be DIY handy. Like,
Yeah,
I'd
it'd be
love
amazing,
just a
wouldn't it?
project, because I have got time. Like, I can come home on a night, I could spend 3 or 4 hours getting that bit of that room done,
Yeah.
and I'd love doing that.
Do you have any
But
of
I'm
that?
just not. I'm not practical at all. Like, my dad said me, like, he's fit, he's quite good at it, but I've never like took interest into that. Like, never once been interested in a screwdriver, a drill, never even been near one. Like, I'd love to be like DIY handy, because I know over the years you save yourself thousands.
Yeah.
I did the patio with my dad, and like instead of like, he made me take up a few and then we replace it, and then he put this grout on and this varnish on, whatever, and it looks like a brand new patio. And like it would have cost him 10-15 grand to get a new one. And I know this potentially could be boring, but like, I wish I was DIY handy as well.
To be fair, it's not really that difficult. All you need to do is watch YouTubes of how to do it.
That's what he did, yeah.
It's all manual stuff. You know, once you got for example, the foundations, the grout, the stones and everything else, you look at people and how they've done it, and then you just try and do it. You're going to fuck up a couple of stones, and then you'll take them back out and put them back in again.
Yeah.
And it might cost you a little bit more, but you're going to save it from getting someone else to do it.
Yeah.
But you can get it there or thereabouts. Certain things, like, you can probably do. Like, there's things that you can't. Like, I try to do plastering. So I did years ago. I had this thing where I thought if I was to become a good plasterer, it's easy to set your business up. All you need is a van, a bucket to mix the plastering trowel, and a drill with a thing on to mix it, and a float. That's it. You need 5 things. You can do it for like 100 quid. And I thought, right, I'm going to go do this. Now, my grandma actually paid for me to go to college, and I think it was like 6 weekends in the bounce.
Did you?
And I got some qualification.
Huh.
So I went there, and the first week was learn the basics of it. The second week, there was a lad who I got chatting to, and I was messing around, and he was laughing his head off, and I just reverted to that class clown at school again.
Right.
And then me and him would just banter, play around, fuck about, weren't listening, weren't trying, and then we stumbled our way through it, and then right at the end we, plastered a ceiling in the wall and got a certificate. And then I bought all the stuff, and I said, Tomo, you've got this big house, you want to do his basement. And I said, I'll come and do it with you. I'm a plasterer now. So we went down to his basement. If you can think of like, how old is his house? Probably is about 60-year-old or something.
Tom was?
Yeah, no, yeah, it was a nunnery, wasn't it? So it's fucking...
That house?
Yeah.
That's well over 100 and something years old.
Yeah, so in the basement, in the ground, so like it's in the basement.
It's like 18 something that house is built.
So we're trying to plaster, and it's just soak and wet the walls. And it took us about 4 days just trying to do... And in the end of it, his plaster was 10 times better than mine. He's really good with his hands, he's just, like you were saying, a DIY person. He's a heating engineer at trade. But yeah, I learned right then that I'm shit.
Yeah.
I'm not artistic. I'm not artistic in any stretch of the imagination, and it is an art to it. It's you have to make it like glass, and I think anybody who's going to do anything, they can't just jump into plaster. But doing stones and stuff like that, certain manual things, I think you can get away with.
I tried.
In my opinion,
I've tried before. The consensus could be like, there's 2 types of people who can do it and people who can't do it. So you would think, well, the people who can do it, that's because they've learned how to do it.
yeah,
Right. The people who can't do it, it's just because you've never learned, right?
it's all experience, isn't it?
Well, you say that, but through my experience in my life, I did 2 years of mechanics. I was terrible at the beginning, and I learned nothing.
You did that.
Yeah, and I was nothing. I couldn't do anything at the end. I was still bad. Then I was a fabricator for 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
Really, fuck.
and that was welding. I went on building sites. I worked in fabrication shops. Terrible. Like welder. I welded nearly every day for 3 years. I still couldn't weld. Not to a standard that would be accepted.
Yeah.
Yes, I could weld, but like I remember, doing stuff at work, and they'd be like, "No, we have to get someone else to do it." Yeah, because it wasn't good enough. So I think there is an element of just like
some people have got it, some people haven't.
You got it, you haven't got it.
Like we talked about Max Wells in the last podcast. He just naturally could weld perfect.
Anything you picked up, really.
Yeah, some people are just gifted with things like that, aren't they?
They are. Have you ever done any learning Southpaw?
No, but I think just touching on that, I think people just look at it and think, no, it's simple. You do start with this, there's your middle, there's your end.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I make it so complex in my head that I'm like, oh no, there's like so difficult to take that little bit of the grout out. Like, what if I do it wrong? I'll make 10 times worse. Whereas actually, it's having the confidence to just throw yourself into it sometimes and make mistakes, because that's where learning happens, isn't it? But no, absolutely no training made. I don't think I ever will, but I'll just pay people.
I changed the battery on my Ring doorbell, and I feel like
I can do that. Yeah. No, electrics wise, actually, like electrics, camera stuff, I'm all right. Like that's pretty simple to me. But anything past that, clueless, mate. And
I just know that I know somebody who can come and do it.
Yeah.
Who's it who said that? When you're in a situation, you need to get an adult. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's true though. You get an adult.
I get an adult to come and sort it out for me.
Yeah, it's true. It's the best way.
Yeah.
But you've said it's a good point now. We are in a time with YouTube videos where if you could be asked, if you could be bothered to try.
Especially if it's somewhere like, for example, like you've bought this house, you could just think, fuck it, I'm going to give it a go. I've got time at hands here. I've got a family that needs to use this room. I can just, I've got somewhere else to live. I'll just fucking have a go. And if I fuck it up, I'll just get someone in to sort it out.
Yeah, it's probably a good way to play it, really. Everything's on that. Just for example, the whole plastering thing. I've never plastered in my life, but I bet you, I've never looked. I bet you I could go onto YouTube and say, okay, how do I plaster a wall? And there'll be multiple videos about what you need, how to do it, how to mix it, what not to do. And if you just give it a couple of hours of thinking and listening and like trial and error, you could probably plaster.
Yeah.
For the most part.
You could do it. It just wouldn't be to a high standard.
There's some things you're not allowed to do legally. Like you're not allowed to change a boiler because you're not certified. I imagine knocking walls through in houses is probably not advisable either because you don't know where to knock through.
As long as you know it's not a...
Yeah, but for the most part, the smaller stuff, like changing... No, because I was thinking, can you change a bathroom? But no, there's like water pipes and stuff. That's probably not a good
just turn
idea.
the water off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's more flooring and like stuff like that you get away with painting.
Tiling,
and it's like, it's
grouting,
actually... The thing my dad always shows is actually having the time. Like it's putting it in, and it's like, actually, no, this is going to save me a lot of money if I do this. But you don't think like that. You think, fucking hell, it's going to be chew that.
But
Professional will do it in 2 days. It'll take you a week and a half.
Yeah, and it's like, can you? Do you want to save that 300, 400 quid for a week's work just in your spare time and not get frustrated? Like it's tough, innit?
And there's a sense of achievement afterwards, and do something like that.
Oh, definitely. During lockdown, we did up like lots of people did up our garden, and like I was there digging away, putting in tons of fucking gravel, then layering it with stone, and like got this shit up. It was a Wendy house, now it's this mint bar, and like we drinking it all the time. Me and Dad, mainly Dad, but it was like it was like a sense of achievement at the end of it, like having a pint in there. It's like, oh, class.
It's even better that you did that with your dad as well. It's just that bonding as well as
it is, and like I'm not very good at the the handyman stuff, but I'm a workhorse. I graft my ass off bringing all these fucking stone. I got hench. I always came away from it. I was like,
just went and chopped a tree down at the end to show that you can.
Pretty much, mate. But it was
I had
good.
I piss in the shower just because I'm a man now.
Yeah. Everyone did that though during lockdown. Surely you did a bit of gardening or something.
I did my garage, so I set out to make a gym in my garage. So we just moved into that house, and the floor just had nothing down, so I was going to get this stuff to like I think it's called screed, to like basically put a cover over the floor and make it so it's like a nice floor, not just a chalky floor. But I ended up thinking, fuck that, and I bought loads of gym mats, like thick ones, locked them all together piece by piece, and then just bought loads of gym equipment, and that was it.
Everybody's got these nice like lockdown stories. I always hear them. My lockdown was very different to everybody else's. Mine was very secluded. Really? So I live in a flat, right? It's got no outside space. There's no balcony. There's no nothing. There's no gardens. I had no bird at the time. I was on my own. right? So my lockdown experience was in a little porky flat, smoking cigarettes out of a window. So I got a really tanned face and white legs. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what happened.
You got the keys to the gym still, didn't you? So you were going down the gym all the time.
I could go to the gym, but there was a rule, obviously, because my gym's, I won't say thingy, but let's just say it was in a place where there was cameras.
Yeah.
So the rule of thumb was, yes, you can have keys, but you have to come back down like 3 a.m. when it's dark and you can't park. Oh, there was all kinds of shit going on. So, you know, all around it's in the town centre, it's the penthouse, right? So all the way around it, there's shops, which was the old building society, the Mexican place. Basically, Rich has keys to all the buildings, right? Mental. So
because they're all interlocked when you go upstairs, aren't they?
That whole thing is interlocked. You can get to them all from the back.
I've been in the Mexican from the gym before.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like a labyrinth, but you can get to everything from the back of the gym. It's so strange, really unsecure.
Yeah.
But Rich didn't let everybody have access to the gym, just a few selects. I was one of them, luckily. And he gave us all different keys to different buildings. I don't know why. I think it's to make it look like we weren't going in the gym. Right. So I got the keys to Darlington Building Society, right? You know, the big glass on the corner thing, right? And
I wish you told me this.
Yeah, there's rule of thumb that like we couldn't obviously park our car outside. We had to hide our car. So I was hiding my car. Like it was actually stupid because I
could have walked anyway.
I could have walked, but it was cold. But yeah, I was leaving my car like hidden down an alleyway somewhere, and I was literally getting up at 3 a.m. That's what time I was getting up, 3 a.m. for the gym. So I was going to the gym, then going home and going back to sleep. It was weird.
Really?
Yeah. This was only for a few weeks that like calmed down a bit.
Yeah, when it got really strict.
Yeah, I had the key, and Rich said we had to take different routes each day so that it
Sounds
throws
like
them
you're
off.
dealing drugs here.
It was really on top to death, all for a gym. Yeah, and I got, you would walk through the town centre and it was a wasteland then. There was nobody about and those cameras did look at you. And Richard boarded up all the windows, because when you're upstairs, you're eye level with the cameras. Sometimes when I'm on a treadmill, I'll see a camera, the council camera, turn and look through the window at me. Because so Richard boarded up all the windows and he said, don't put the lights on. So
you're in the gym in the dark.
In the gym in the dark with your phone torch at 3 a.m. walking through Darlington Building Society. I can remember one day coming down and trying to be quick. And literally as I got to the door, I was struggling with the key and I'd looked around and the camera had gone and looked at me. So God knows what they were thinking. There's me going through an old bank, basically. It's a bank. Oh, this lad in his shorts.
So you go in the bank to get to the gym?
Yeah. So you go through the bank door, like I go, zip, zip, shut it, lock it behind me, and you walk.
It wasn't a functioning bank though, is it?
No, it used to be a bank. It used to be a building society.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have money in there. Did they have money in there? I don't know. But
it was done when it was functioning.
It wasn't Darlington Building Society. It was Newcastle Building Society. That's what it was. It's on the corner, opposite Number One Bar. You know that big glass building?
No way.
Yeah, that. So that was where I had the key to.
What the fuck?
Madman. And yeah, I'd walk in there and put your phone torch on. Not allowed to put no lights on.
I'll fit that like.
Walking around some derelict building with your phone torch at 3 in the morning.
Freezing cold.
You're saying you're worried about ghosts. Fuck that.
Yeah. I bumped into someone one day in there. Shit myself. You can imagine.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't know he was in there. It was that fucking, 259, the weirdo.
259.
Yeah, there's a guy. He's a weirdo. You know who he is.
All right.
Yeah, you remember the weirdo from the penthouse who talks shit all the time.
Oh yeah, quite a tall guy.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Yeah, mate. Right, so I'd walked in at 3 a.m. with my phone torch, walking up the thingy. I'd been there day after day after day. I'd never seen anybody. Yeah. And as I walked through the thing, I was walking through the gym itself, and obviously there's mirrors everywhere, so you're already a bit freaked out because your torch is throwing havoc with you. Do you know what I mean? I literally walked, and I thought I caught a glimpse of something. So I'm on high alert because I'm thinking, don't jump because you're going to see stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, just calm down, like there's nothing here. And I looked, and fucking, he sat there on the bench, just quiet with his hat on, just looking at us. And I shined it on him. Like that, he went, "You all right, Danny?" That's what he said. So he just said, "You all right, Danny?" He sat with a woolly hat on. He's just seen his little eyes poking out.
He's been waiting for you.
Yeah, vest and tracksuit bottoms on.
Off it.
Mate, sat there in the dark. He didn't have a torch.
That's trippy.
I said, "Where's your torch?" He said, "My phone doesn't have a torch." So, right, so, yeah, he's doing it in the dark. I can see fine, he said. Right.
That's dedication to the gym, that.
Yeah. You could find people, mate. So, there would be times 2 or 3 people would come in, training in pitch black. We did it before once. Don't you remember?
I can't remember.
When the power went out, we went in the gym and we did a full workout with just our phone torches.
I think I do remember that time, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we used to go late on the night, didn't we? And the power would drop out.
Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever trained in the gym in the pitch black?
Never, and
Really
I don't think I
interesting.
plan on it.
Yeah, really
No.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was weird because right at the start of lockdown, just before lockdown, I'd met Laura. So, because of health conditions, she's like highest of high risk. So today, she just had her 8th jab.
Right.
8th jab.
Bloody
8
hell.
COVID jab.
8th COVID jab. So she's highest of risks.
Right.
So when I'd met her, we were only together for a few months, and then all of a sudden lockdown came in. And the parents were like, look, you need to stay at home and never leave, never see anybody. But we were like, just got together, you know, that new love kind of things like. And then
Yeah,
she was
buddy.
like, you come round and see me.
Yeah.
But you can't bring your car because if your parents see your car, then... and if my parents come round, you'll just have to hide somewhere. And I was like, it's quite exciting, this. So I used to jump on my bike, and I used to bike over there, and I remember getting a bit giddy, you know, like... going
Bad boys.
Hide my bike in the shed and that, make sure none of the neighbours are looking. And then...
Swooping.
Yeah, and then it got to the point where I was like, if I'm... rather than coming and going, making it more risk of me getting something, because I'll be going to shops and doing this, that and the other, I might as well come and just stay for a couple of days. And then it was a few more days, and then I was furloughed for a couple of months at the start, and we had a heat wave, and she had a garden, and it was just perfect. So in the end, I was like, I'll just bring a few clothes, pardon me, to last for a few days, and then before I know it, I was in.
Yeah, to your and her, I'm sure, you and Laura would have, you're a great couple anyway.
Yeah, it worked out, wouldn't it?
It
But
definitely pushed your...
pushed us quicker together.
pushed
didn't
it quicker,
Yeah.
that lockdown thing.
Must have been tough initially though, like because obviously you liked her so much, and you're that could be a future wife. This, and then you obviously want her safety as well. Like
Yeah,
wanted
so
to make,
and I was thinking, imagine if I was the one who had COVID and I brought it to the house and she got COVID and subsequent, say if she died because of it, how would I feel? To live with that on my conscience.
Yeah. So
So that's why I was like, if I'm coming over for a good few days.
Yeah.
And then I'll be testing as soon as before I come and everything. So that's what we did, and touch wood, we got through it.
yeah.
Did any of you two get COVID or not?
She's just had it.
Has she?
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
How was she?
She was fine.
Was she?
Yeah, she got the symptoms, she tested, she was positive, and then a couple of days later she was fine.
Huh.
But yeah, she just had her 8th jab today.
Madness that.
That's a
Mental.
lot, isn't it? How many you had?
3.
3.
Yeah,
Would you have them again?
3 or 4.
If you could go back in time?
If I was with her, yes, just for her safety. So, I mean, if I was by myself, I'm a fit person, healthy person, I would have took my chances. But just because I wouldn't want that on my conscience, I'd wanted to have known that I've done every measure possible. Because if something did happen to her, I'd know in my heart that I've tried everything, to prevent it. So, yeah, that's why I'd do it. But if I wasn't with her, I'd just think, it's no point.
No. I think so now.
It was hard to move through countries. So one of the lads who were with when we went to Ibiza, when first lockdown came, he had to have all sorts of like tests on the days and stuff like that to go, and loads of different certificates, and it was a bit of a nightmare for him just to go to Ibiza.
Was it?
Because he didn't have his 2 jabs, he didn't believe in it.
Oh, that was when you went.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, to be honest, that was my main driving force in getting them. It wasn't so
just
much...
so you can go travelling.
To travel, yeah. They were big. They're big on the travel thing with that
Massive,
then.
weren't they?
I mean, I've told you the story before about the Madrid airport and stuff like that, the carry-on they had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But right at the start of it, we came back from Cuba, didn't we? And we're walking around the airports and everyone had masks on. And we're like, what the fuck's going on in here? Like, because we hadn't seen any of the news.
Yeah.
And we're walking through airports and every single person had a mask on apart from us two. We're like, weird here, aren't there? There's so many Chinese kind of thing, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we went to the next airport, same again.
Yeah.
And
Amsterdam and Paris, wasn't
hand
it?
sanitizer everywhere and stuff. It was just weird,
And we
wasn't
were
it?
like,
we
where have
didn't
we
get
walked
it.
into?
And then all of a sudden there was this virus going around, and We were so lucky because it was something like 5 more days and it was locked down.
Yeah, literally.
And
Really?
and if we got locked down in Cuba, we'd have been fucked. Cuba, like,
There'd been a good,
internet.
There's no internet,
lockdown
there
for
was-
you, like.
yeah, they were just, it's a communist country, isn't it?
You wouldn't be
So
able to get money.
you couldn't get money, you couldn't get food.
The only thing you had is the money you took. Like,
Really?
you wouldn't be able to get any more.
There's no banks there.
Nah. You can get some cash from hotels, but there isn't like cash machines and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and they'd have been scarce on that, wouldn't they? Because people were like slaughtering animals and eating them, weren't they, over in Cuba because there was a shortage of food because nothing, it's an island, isn't it? Nothing comes in and out.
I think that's normal though, from what I can gather. I think people do like kill their own pigs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
like
think it's normal.
farm their own animals and stuff
Yeah,
to
yeah.
kill. But I heard there was like people were robbing from people and like robbing food from people and stuff.
Really?
Because it was that scarce, yeah.
But
So
like,
if we were there, it was divvy tourists with no money, would have been fucked.
yeah, that would have been.
Luckily, we got back though.
But yeah, I do remember that, like walking through Paris and Amsterdam airport, thinking, "What's this?" Because we went through them airports when we went. Like that's the way we went. But when we
Yeah.
come back, it seemed different, didn't it? Very
Totally
strange. A bit scarce. There wasn't as many
Yeah,
people.
it's like an aura about it, wasn't it? As
yeah, weird.
We'd heard it. I think we'd heard of something, the whispers about this COVID or something, but we didn't really get it.
Nobody took it seriously at first. Nobody knew it was going to be what it was going to be. I can remember it getting, very vague murmurs on it about this thing happening in China and this virus, and like nobody saw what was coming. That would, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming. It was a proper interesting time, like, because it's still so fresh in our minds. Like, I think we haven't quite like taken that like a good look at how bizarre that was that we did
Crazy
that.
how much it affected people, especially children and their development. Now there's a big thing about it, isn't there? About how children who didn't go to school and stuff like that, and
Massively.
yeah, it's really affected them. I just hope and pray and touch wood that nothing ever in Theo's lifetime happens like that, especially during his developmental years.
I don't think there would be. We've talked on this before. I don't think we'd have it again. That's the truth.
I think it'll be one of them things when when our kids or our kids are older, a history lesson it'll be about COVID and stuff like that. Whereas ours was about wars, wasn't it?
I'm of the belief that because there was some murmurs a few weeks ago about COVID's back and stuff like this.
Yeah, it is back. It's doing the rounds, but I think it's a
What I
lot
mean is-
weaker strain, isn't it?
Yeah, but what I mean is I don't, we just talked about there about like kids not being able to go to school, like full lockdown.
Yeah, lockdown. Yeah.
I don't think we would accept it again. I don't think
Yeah.
like the masses would. I think too many people would say no.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't think they could control it. I guess some would. Don't get me wrong. There would be a percentage, but I think more than half people would be like, we're not doing that again. And to control that, I mean, you then looking at like military type thing would have to come out, and then that's getting a bit serious.
Yeah.
That's like communism. Then that's North Korea shit.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it.
I don't think they would. I think they'd just try and get as many vulnerable people, elderly people, people like that who are just to lock down themselves.
I think if
Be
anything,
very cautious.
I think if anything, we've had this discussion here before, whether you're a believer or a non-believer, wherever you sit on the scale, I think even the most strong believers in COVID,
But I've never had COVID to date.
no, but I think even the most strongest believers would probably say we did overreact a little bit, because what we've learned since is that yes, it was still a killer disease to a lot of people and very dangerous to a lot of people, but I think we can all agree that we've learned that it wasn't as dangerous to everybody as we initially thought it was going to be.
Yeah, initially to everybody, but to the vulnerable people and the people who've passed away.
Of course, yeah, of course. That's still
Yeah,
Of
to us
course.
it's different because we haven't had anyone pass away who's that close to us, I think, fortunately. But there's some people who couldn't see their loved ones in hospital and stuff like that. Horrendous.
Oh yeah, we all saw the videos.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
Yeah, we are. Funny. I don't think there's ever been anything like that, has there, in the history? I know there's been Spanish flus and stuff like that, but did we do
Yeah.
lockdowns then? I don't think we did we?
No.
Is this the first time lockdowns ever happened, Southpaw?
I believe so.
Is it?
Because there was the plague, wasn't there? The Black Death is it 1800s, 1700s?
Yeah, I think it was 17 or 16.
But that was mainly due to poor sanitation, wasn't it, in the streets of London, and everyone living on top of each other, and
Yeah.
rats just
And no medication. Too.
yeah, rats going
Poor diet,
crazy.
everything. Combination.
yeah,
It was off rats, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. I just wondered, because I know there was the Spanish flu. That was
Yeah.
fairly recently, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The last 100 years.
Zika virus, remember that?
I don't ever
So that was
hearing
bad
about.
in like South America, wasn't it?
So Spanish flu.
That was mainly for kids.
So they put a few prevention methods in place, and I think it's just similar isolation or staying away from crowds. I think going forward, like with my personal opinion on the COVID and that is like, I think, you know, it comes down to common sense. I think if you are of high risk, I think if you are an elderly person and COVID hits a new high again over winter, which it most likely will,
Yeah.
I think it's just, for me, it's common sense. Like take your time, be precautious with a mask again. I think, you know, if my nana was still around, I think I'd do the same for her, you know. So that's the way I see it. You know, a common cold, I think, is just as dangerous, you know.
It is, yeah.
So it's just like, you know, however sick or whatever your circumstances personally, that's how I deal with it.
Like
you
if
know.
you've got a bad cold, you don't go see your grandma, do
Of
you?
course you don't.
No.
It's
Yeah,
just
you know,
common sense,
it's
isn't
common
it?
sense, isn't it? Yeah.
But that's how I see it, really.
Unless you're going to inherit a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
That's,
Sorry.
yeah.
Go and give Nana a cuddle. Hiya, Nana.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good point. Just, just if you feel it's dangerous to you, then, take precautions.
Yeah.
Use your head.
Yeah, use your head. Yeah, it's been an interesting time. And I think it's very early days for us to take full count of what we went through.
Yeah.
It's still very fresh. But it was very bizarre.
Wasn't it?
I think I was very lucky, like my age group. I think I was 18 when it hit, and like I was at uni, still getting away with murder. Like,
I think, though, I disagree. I think, 18-year-olds want to be out, especially at uni, clubbing and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
all that element had been taken away. I imagine you're
well,
still
no,
getting
well,
drunk
actually,
and
I
stuff,
lie.
but-
It was COVID-19, so I was 19, just about turned 20, and
Still
I'd done
there.
all my like tons of partying first year and second year, and then like it sort of helped. I've sort of done this before, like the way the whole because it was never happened before with universities. They didn't have any teaching for months, and like I was like a big smoker at the time. Like life was great. Like me and all the boys were just chilling. Couldn't send any work to us because they didn't know how for us to complete the work. There was no online system for it to do that.
Yeah.
So we were in this lucky spot where like we were at uni, like we were still seeing all of our pals. We were still partying.
Yeah.
Like I was still partying, and because in third year, I don't know whether you did uni, but third year you don't go out as much. You more go around people's houses for parties. And like my 21st, I had during lockdown, the height of it, when it was the 10 grand fines, and my mates organised one of the biggest sessions in the whole of Salford. So we're down, there was about 50 people came to the session. Everyone got COVID. It was bloody brutal. And like they'd done like soundproofing on the doors. They put like all this stuff up on the
Really?
like we had decks. We had DJ come in. All my mates like from all over the country, Leeds, Liverpool, Newcastle, like all came to see me. My mates had organised it. I thought, oh, it's going to be a bit shit. Like
Yeah.
5 or 6 of the lads. And for me, it was probably the best party ever.
That's class,
And like
that.
it was, everybody knew it was 10 grand fines. Everybody
Yeah.
knew the exits, and it was like nothing happened. We were sound,
Yeah.
and it was just the maddest
I like
session.
that, though, like going to, first of all, for your friends for doing that, like top friends.
Yeah, we were always good for birthdays. Everybody'd invest. That was the thing. Birthdays were like, right, okay, it's Louis' birthday. And I always put in tons of coin. For everyone else's, like,
Yeah.
I always went hard. So it was like, right, okay, it's Louis' birthday. It's lockdown. We're going to have to do something. And my 21st was mad.
I just like that. They got the levels of soundproofing and looking at exit plans.
Yeah, we had a sofa at the front door. Like, nobody was allowed to go and smoke out the front because, like,
Yeah.
people would have seen. If you were smoking out the back, not allowed. You smoking in that house. It's like, that was the only thing you could do.
First rule of Fight
it
Club.
was like,
Don't talk
it
about
was
Fight Club.
dingy as fuck. Like, the cleanup, I think, took a week. It's just fucking shit everywhere.
That's mint. That, though.
Yeah.
Because that's a birthday to remember.
Yeah.
That's class.
So for me, fortunately, no. It couldn't have went much better. And it was like,
But am I right in saying this? The first year you can kind of toss it off at uni. The second year it gets a bit serious. Third year you have to really
third year is shit hot.
Yeah,
So that's
shit
when
hot.
that's when I
So
was
it's
meant to
probably
be like,
worked well for you, didn't it?
yeah, and then because there was tons of setbacks, people had real struggles, mental torments. everybody played that card.
Yeah.
Everybody got pushbacks with their assignments, and then actually the way they graded it was very nice.
Yeah.
Now I'm a very
Favourable.
clever man. I got 2-1 in my degree, but would I have been such a clever man if there was no lockdown? I don't know. I'm all right at what I do, but it was a tough course, and we got very nicely off. I was not far. I was literally, I got sent it back to get it first. I was so close to getting it first.
At least you didn't get a Desmond. No one wants a Desmond.
Desmond Tutu. No,
Desmond Tutu. You
nobody
don't
wants
want a
Desmond.
Desmond Tutu.
Nobody wants that. So no, 2-1, mate. And for me, I know that's just one fortunate outcome, but I think lots of people might have struggled with it. But my personal, experience was laughing.
Financially, it worked well for me as well. So I the first couple of months was I got furloughed. My boss at the time was like, "Shit, we don't know what to do." Furloughed me and just said, "Look, you're going to bring you back as soon as I can." And then we were very, very fortunate that a lot of our clients we spread out. Pardon me. We kind of played to our strengths. So we've got clients in food manufacturing companies. So we leaned on them more. There's a big company who decided who was just very lucky to be able to who built a plant, a hygienics plant to manufacture hand sanitizer. We ended up winning the contract to get that. So from a start-up to a massive global, I think they did this in 5 countries, and we won the contract to do all the recruitment. So we're setting it up from the ground up, from senior management down, and then loads of other things were just kicking off, which was really big at the time. So I had 2 months off, and it was when we had a massive heat wave, and it was full pay. And I remember at the time as well, I mentioned before, I had loads of debt. And at the time, I had quite a fair bit, and they gave you all these payment options, to just fucking pay them off while you're on furlough. So I had loads of pork. I was going for days out by myself in the Porsche, up and down the coast and that, in the heat wave.
Best life.
Absolutely class for them. Couple of months, and then I set up a little desk and a little office in the house, and all this work came in, and I had some international work as well. Which I've just got back on as well. So I was working during the day, and then I was working American roles on a night. And financially it did really well out of it. But it gave me something to focus on as well. So that was really good.
Yeah.
Your COVID stories seem a lot better than mine.
You were around the gym with an iPhone torch.
he was just there with his cigarettes, fucking purple face.
That was me by night with me sunburnt face in the flats.
no.
Didn't speak to nobody for about 2 months. Not a human soul, apart from Reese Hanlon. That's who I spoke to. And we'd spend our days trying to sell websites to Romanian builders. That's what we would do.
Really?
Yeah, because as it happened, we were between jobs at the time. So we were both sort of unemployed as well.
Why were Romanian builders just still building at the time?
Because English people would tell you no,
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, we just...
But Romanians were like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
for
they
it.
weren't just Romanians, they were Polish, they were Eastern Europeans.
In this country or in Romania?
In this country,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
But it was a funny time. It seemed though like I suppose a lot of companies did, because this was going on. A lot of companies just wouldn't spend. Everyone just seized up because no one knew what was going on.
Yeah, it was the unknown, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was unknown. But
Really showed the true mettle of a company, I think that.
Yeah, it did. But I don't know why we seem to get, and I use the word lightly, success, because it wasn't success. But what I mean is they're the only people who actually would pay us. Do you know what I mean? They're the only people who actually buy something.
Yeah.
They seem to be Eastern European, one-man band tradesmen. That's where they maybe saw some kind of gap, in it, that they were going to try and work when other companies weren't. I don't know.
They were probably working anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why.
They were doing dodgy dealings, I bet, and just thought, they've got, because everyone wanted stuff doing, didn't they? So they'll have probably been working still and had more money than they've ever had, and then they get a phone call saying you want a website, and think, perfect timing.
No, it was COVID time for me. My memory of it was it was probably one of the hardest financial times ever.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, you think there's no wage coming to me from a company.
God, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Self-employed.
And it went on and on and on forever, didn't it? You just at one point you were thinking it's never going to end.
Yeah.
At first it was it's just going to be for a couple of months, and then it was.
It was long, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We kept going in and out and in and out.
Yeah.
Remember? Oh God. Yeah, I don't. I'm pleased that's gone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that again.
Harrowing time.
But all right, if you driving your Porsche up down the country road or a soundproof house parties and sessions.
Yeah, you know what? I look back and it actually, for me, I had a really good time.
A lot of people did.
And then, like, I came back from uni and had time with my family, like time that you can't take back. Everything slowed down. Our family's 100 mile an hour all the time. And, like, you just had to slow down. It was nice.
And do you know, it's nice, even though I didn't experience that, and mine was very negative, but when I hear people's stories of how nice, like you've just said, with your family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We had my sister in here a few weeks ago on her own, on that podcast.
Yeah.
Sure. And she was, you know, I put it to her, and she said, no, it was wonderful. Me and the kids,
spent so much time together.
Yeah, spent great time.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear these stories because I think some people have some really, really really warming experiences.
I imagine now that I've got Theo, if I was to lock down with him, it'd be classed because I'd just see him grow up and I'd spend all that time and bond so much.
Mm-hmm.
But then you wouldn't get the teachings and learning development from nursery.
No.
Yeah.
You'd get it from this idiot. Nobody needs that, do they? No, I think he's smarter than me already. He knows where his nose is, everything.
Everything.
So this is
I
how you
struggle,
hold.
like.
This is how you hold the coffee. This is how you hold toasty. Stand next to the pool.
Yeah. Surprised he can look at you the same after that toilet escapade.
When he's older and he watches this, he'll disown me
Yeah.
and high five his mum.
I highly doubt that.
No, I highly doubt it too. Right, should we call it a day, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
How are we up
Sounds
to? Where are we at?
just under 2. Yeah.
That'll do.
That'll
2
do.
hours.
Cool.
I'm happy with that. Thank you again, Adam,
It's been wonderful.
as always.